There we go. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, good. Awesome. 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 Thank you for that alert. I went into the Slack channel to take a look at, oh, the music is playing again all of a sudden. And then I saw that I was being alerted. We can't hear you. Alert, alert, alert. Awesome. Okay, so here's what I was saying. I was welcoming to a host of people from a variety of different platforms. We are right now streaming live on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, Substack potentially. However, if you're in the Zoom room, you're exactly in the right place because this is where we're going to be dropping free resources. And this is where I have the ability to really see everyone's questions all in one place. So, welcome. Oh my goodness. All right, so to get started, go ahead, let me know where you are zooming in from. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Where are you streaming in from? Where are you zooming in from? Welcome. Okay, I see a variety of people jumping in on Facebook as well. Amazing. Okay, I'm getting like notifications. I'm gonna go on Do Not Disturb here. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so we have LA, California. Welcome, California in the house. I'm here in Atlanta. Keep dropping it in the chat. Okay, where in California? I see you, Roderick. Teresa's in LA. Oh, is it LA, Teresa, or is it Louisiana? I see LA and I automatically think, I don't know why I thought California automatically, but that's what I thought. Okay, it was Los Angeles. Okay, I was not off base there at all. Okay, so today I have a really, really powerful training with you guys. And yeah, I know we're 5 minutes in. Let me go ahead and just dive in. So, welcome. For those of you who are not in the Zoom room yet, please join us in the Zoom room because this is exactly where we are dropping free resources for you. We're going to try to catch up with the other platforms, but the Zoom room is the place that I want you to be. Okay. All right. So, without further ado, let me share my screen. Come on, Zoom. There we go. Let me share it. Awesome. Share my audio as well. All right, we're here. Disclaimer, disclaimer. We're going to start off with a little disclaimer. I am not an attorney. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not your attorney or tax professional, especially I don't play one on TV either. For you, before making any financial decisions, definitely consult with your CPA and those who help to um, set up all of your financials. My goal here is one goal only, and it is to educate. Okay. I want you to be well informed because once you're informed, you're going to be empowered to do the best for your financial situation. So, without further ado, Rachel Gainsbury here, guys, and I've got a bone to pick. And it's not with you, it's with what you have been told. You became a doctor to help people to build a great life, to finally have something after all of those years of training, of sacrifice, of delayed gratification. And now you're making maybe $100,000 a year or a quarter of a million or even more. But somehow it doesn't quite feel like it because every April you watch $100,000 disappear to the IRS. Every quarter, another estimated payment, every paycheck nearly half gone. And the worst part, you have been told the only way to fix it is to work harder, to pick up extra shifts, to take more call, to grind until you're too tired to enjoy the life that you're supposedly building. That is the lie. That's the bone that I have to pick. And let's be honest about where we are right now. The economy is shifting. The hospital systems are consolidating. Private equity is buying up practices left and right. And AI isn't coming, it is here. I'm talking diagnostics, imaging, documentation. The whole healthcare landscape is changing faster than any of us have ever expected. And so that W-2 safety net that you think that you have is not as safe as you think. But, and this is really, really important. I need you to come back to me if you're multitasking. This is really, really important. Let me go ahead and get my standing pad. There we go. Every time there's a massive shift like this, there's also a massive window of opportunity for the people who move first. And right now, we're in the middle of that window. because success has less to do with your skill set, your strategy, or even your work ethic, and has everything to do with one thing: timing. Now, if you started investing in 2024, early 2025, you're actually too early. Bonus depreciation was gone. Okay. Well, I consider it gone. It was down to 40% or so. It was not the 100% that it used to be. And I'm pouring my drink, guys, by the way. It was not the 100% that it used to be. But as of July of 2025, bonus depreciation is back to 100%. Let me say that again for the people sitting in the back. Bonus depreciation is back to 100%. And for those of you who are on Instagram, for those of you who are on YouTube, I've got this amazing table that I'm sharing. So grab the link or DM me for the link, because I would love for you to join into the Zoom room so that you have access to this table and you have access to the resources. We're sharing a guide where we break down exactly the top places to invest in 2026 that will save you massively on taxes, and that will provide you meaningful cash flow. Cash flow where just two properties is able to help to cut back on that W-2, if that is your goal. Now, if your goal is to stay exactly where you are as well, you can do so. So that is the beauty of this tax strategy. Some tax strategies require you to cut back and some just do not. So you have options, and I want to make it very, very clear. I want to make sure that you have options. And with the bonus depreciation being back to 100%, you have more options than ever. Okay. So very, very excited about that. Okay. So as of July, let's just recalibrate for a second. As of July of 2026, 2025, actually, July of 2025, you have more options because bonus appreciation is back to 100%. Welcome in, welcome in. I see Dream Plan Do Interiors. Nadine, welcome. Arnold from Utah, welcome. Dan, welcome, welcome, welcome in, everyone. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that if you buy a property this year, you furnish it properly, you can write off the entire cost of the furniture, the appliances, the equipment in year one. Not spread out over 37 and a half years, not depreciated slowly, all of it. You can write all of it out in year one. Now, this is the window that we're in. You were way too early if you started like late 2024, early 2025. However, if you wait until next year, who knows? Things might change again. But right now, there has never been a better time than right now. There has never been a better time than right now. And yet, you don't have time. You're maxed out, patient loads, call schedules, family obligations. The idea of adding just one more thing feels impossible. And honestly, you've been burnt before. Maybe you bought into a course that didn't follow through. Maybe you almost pulled the trigger on a property and talked yourself out of it. Maybe your spouse has stopped believing this is ever going to happen. And maybe so have you. And I can already hear what you're thinking. Yeah, yet another person telling me how easy it is. I've heard that before. Or maybe you're thinking, well, that's nice for you, Dr. Rachel, but you got in early. Or maybe you're thinking, the market is different now, Dr. Rachel. Isn't short-term rentals or Airbnb oversaturated? I get it, trust me. But here's what I want you to hear. Your skepticism, the fear of making yet another mistake, I do not see that as a weakness. I see that as exactly why you will succeed, because you're not going to jump in blindly. You will do the work. But let me tell you what's actually impacting 99% of the people who and stops you from getting started. It turns out it's not the money. And I'm going to break down exactly where you can find the money on our call today. So it turns out it's not the money. Turns out it's not the market. Turns out it is not even the time. It's the invisible script that is spinning around in your head that says, shouldn't I be grateful? I already make good money. Or who am I to want more? I should be happy with what I have. Or if I made more money in real estate, won't I just pay more in taxes? So what the heck is the point? That last one, that's the script that's costing you the most because short-term rentals income is taxed differently than your W-2. When it is structured correctly, it doesn't add to your tax burden, it actually reduces it. But if you don't know that, you stay stuck thinking, I'm going to pay more money on taxes because I'm making more income, thinking that you should be grateful for what you already have, thinking wanting more is somehow wrong. And I want to tell you today, it is not wrong. It's actually wisdom. It is protection for your family, for your life, and for your freedom. So here's what most people do. I'm going to set the stage for you. Most people freeze. They're like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but freeze. I'm going to stop for a moment because I need to talk to my CPA first. And then your CPA tells you, well, real estate can kind of help, but you know what? You probably don't have time to bother with it. Or you say to yourself, okay, let me just learn more. I'm going to watch a few more YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel, so I get it. I get a lot of people watching more YouTube videos and staying in that loop. Or some of you are thinking, you know what, let me listen to a whole other podcast episode. And then you fall deeper down into a rabbit hole. And finally, you say, you know what, I'm going to start after busy season. But there's always another busy season, isn't there? It's kind of like saying, I'll wait until I'm fit before I start exercising. Meanwhile, the taxes that you could be capturing is happening for someone else right now, someone who wasn't smarter than you, someone who was not more qualified for you than you, someone who just decided to start. And here's what I've learned after helping doctors acquire over 583 properties. I've learned that the most successful investors that I've worked with, they're not necessarily the most qualified, the most smartest, or the most well-funded. They're just the most willing to start. So your biggest competitor turns out isn't some real estate guru with a massive portfolio. It's that voice in your head right now telling you that you're not ready. Meanwhile, whether you realize it or not, you already have everything you need. You already have everything you need to do this. You have the income, you have the work history, you have the analytical mindset that got you through medical school, residency, fellowship, and your boards. So you're not starting from zero, you're starting from a place of strength. You just haven't deployed it yet. And I know some of you are sitting here thinking, but Rachel, you don't understand. I didn't come from money. My family didn't invest. I'm the first one in my family with this degree. Been there, right? It doesn't feel like something people like me do. And I hear you. You have no idea. I hear you and I see you. And so here's the only thing that is holding you back right now. It is, excuse me, it is permission. Permission to start before you're ready. So let me give you that permission right now. You belong here, you, that imperfect you, the one that doesn't have it all figured out, the one who is still scared, the one who has been burnt before. I want to give her permission to start anyway. This is for people like you. And it's exactly why I do not believe in diving headfirst into a pool of water where the depth is unknown. You do that and you end up potentially with a broken neck. I much prefer the dip the toe in the water approach when it comes to investing in real estate. It's where you dip your toe, you check the temperature, you see if you like it, you make sure it's safe. You don't jump in even then. And then you put in your ankle and then your knee and then you're in. And here's the beautiful thing about the strategy. When you get one property, you can get two. And when you get two property, that's the whole ball game right there. Two strategic doors. That is life-changing income. That's tax freedom. That's making work optional. You don't need 10 properties. You don't need 20. You need two. And you get to two through one. And you get to one through deciding today, that you are done waiting. It is your turn, my friend. It is your turn. And here's why this works. Short-term rentals, kind of like listing on an Airbnb, isn't the biggest online furnished housing platform. It is the biggest housing platform on planet Earth. Over 21 million people have their credit cards on file with Airbnb right now so that they could one-click book a property on Airbnb and show up that same day. It makes brands like Marriott, IHG, Hyatt look like obscure travel hostels. So if you're thinking Airbnb short-term rental investing is oversaturated, here's what 583 properties have taught me. The market is never saturated for people who solve real problems. Let me say that again for people sitting in the back. The market is never saturated for people who solve real problems. And people have more problems than ever. And they're spending more money than ever to the tune of $1 trillion industry that is not going anywhere. So the only thing that is saturated is mediocre properties run by people following the wrong blueprint. Real estate investing produces more millionaires than any other investing strategy, and trying to make money with real estate without using short-term rentals as one of your strategies is like trying to climb Mount Everest completely naked. But here's what most people don't realize. This isn't just about vacation rentals. This isn't just about families looking for beach houses. There is a $1.3 trillion industry hidden inside of the Airbnb platform that most investors have never heard of. So when a flood happens, say it's a disaster that strikes and a family loses their home, it could be a fire, a hurricane, a flood, their insurance company doesn't just put them in a hotel long term. They need real homes. Homes like this one here, our member inside of our community, Chris, she set up. This is Sheila by the Sea. So they need homes like this. Our clients serve homeowners, insurance industry where floods, fires, natural disasters, when that occurs, the insurance company needs to place those families somewhere while their homes are being repaired. And they reach out to us and place families into our furnished properties, and the insurance company pays the rent directly, guaranteed, and on time. And guess what? They also pay above market rates. So, can you see how this is completely different than what you may have thought about short-term? So this is a whole different ball game. But, and this is really important, and you can't, at the end of the day, you can't just show up on Airbnb and think you're going to get rich quick. There's a system to it, okay? And I'm not going to lie to you. A few years ago, this was hard. This was big hard. Managing an Airbnb, a short-term rental, was working a full-time second job. Well, let's say a sixth job, because between, and I'll tell you my story, between my husband and I, we're working 5 jobs between the two of us. So it was brutal. My husband and I, we were fighting for our lives, trying to stay on top of guest communication, cleaner communication, maintenance requests, pricing updates. It felt like a full-time second job before AI. So before AI, it was a complete grind, and I'm not going to pretend that it wasn't. But now, with the AI tools we have built, with the systems that we have dialed in, there has never been a better time to do this. It has never been easier than this. I just cannot tell you how everything has changed. And so that is why I've dropped everything. I really dropped everything. I said, you know what? I really got to get behind this. And it is the best approach to invest. It's the only approach that I would recommend to my kids. If they said, Mom, what should I do with investing? I would say, you should invest in real estate. Well, how should I invest in real estate, Mom? I would say you should do it like this: land, launch, pivot, profit with AI. And so here we go. And so here's what we're going to be talking about today. You're already using AI at your workplace. You're using it to speed up your documentation. You're using AI to become more efficient, to enrich your employer. Why not use it to enrich yourself? Hmm? That's exactly what I'm going to show you today. So by the end of this training, you're going to see a different path, a cash flowing property within 3 months, 50 to 100K back in your pocket through legal tax strategies, and most importantly, freedom to make work optional. We're not promising retirement in 30 days. We're not promising that you're going to quit medicine immediately. I just want to make sure that you have options. You know what's available to you. You have the ability to practice because you want to, not because you have to. You have income that doesn't depend on you showing up. You have a plan B that actually works. That is what's possible. I'm going to show you exactly how to get there today. So let's dive in. I would just want to take a minute to introduce myself to you. If we haven't yet met, this is my husband, Jesse. He's a retired psychotherapist. He used to work with at-risk youth at the Atlanta Public School System. These are my boys, Ethan and Luke. They're both sophomores in college as well as in high school. These are our dogs, Dash, Peggy, and Grasshopper. I'm a pharmacist by training. If you look closely at this right here, you'll see our Netflix property, a property that was featured on Netflix, as well as when they flew us to Albuquerque, New Mexico to complete the filming of our show. But it wasn't that long ago, guys, that I was this baby pharmacist fighting for my life on the W2 streets. I was born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. I was raised in the urban center of Miami. I excelled, went on to get the doctorate. I was driven. I was going to change the world, world domination. But sadly, that came with nearly $500,000 and student loan debt. And so my husband, we just grinded it out. We'd put on our Dave Ramsey hat, tunnel vision, and we were like, go, 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 go. But then I found myself listening to a podcast on the way to work one day where I stumbled upon Bigger Pockets, a little podcast about real estate investing. And although I will say, $100 per door. Let's take down 10 doors, meaning let's buy 10 properties, and each property is going to profit you $100. That didn't feel that great to me because at that point we're making a lot of money, but we're getting eaten alive by taxes. So I adjusted the strategy. I was like, well, what would need to be true for me to get one door that would generate $1,000 in cash flow in my pocket? Is that possible? What is the reality for that? Well, what about one door that would generate $2,000? And so that's what we did. And we did double that with our very first door. And our very first door was the Lenox Star property we found on the MLS, like on Zillow. We cobbled together some down payment money. It was from 401k, a 5% down loan from a local credit union, a extra savings that we had. We leveraged bonus checks, all of those things to launch this property. Excuse me, guys, my allergies are acting up as usual. All of these to launch that initial property. We made it as cute as could be. We set it up, added a little backsplash, furnish it on Facebook Marketplace. And when we got that very first booking, let me tell you, the bells started ringing, the lights went off, because that was the first time in my life that I had actually made money without punching a clock. And it reminded me of what Warren Buffett said, which was, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. That first property cash flowed us $4,400 per month. That's after all expenses were paid. We're able to pocket $4,400 a month. And then we said, you know what? Let's do it again. Let's do it a second time. And so the second one that we launched was called Baby Bell Corporate. Excuse me. Take a little sip. Get a little sip of my tea. Oh my gosh. Yes. So the next one was called Baby Bell Corporate. Now, Baby Bell Corporate, it was a very fascinating because when we launched this property, we were expecting similar results. We were like, okay, I'm a copy and paste queen. Let's just go ahead and copy and paste and rinse and repeat, right? And turns out things were different with this second property. Second property, same neighborhood, just a little bit of a larger property. With Baby Bell Corporate, I kid you not, that property got an inquiry from an insurance company. So that is where we learned that corporations, they tend to have deeper pockets than individuals like you and me, obviously, right? Especially the insurance company. Insurance company, it is a $1.03 trillion surplus company. So insurance, there's a lot of money in insurance. I don't know about you, but I'm paying insurance on so many different things, whether it's, I used to pay malpractice insurance, I'm paying insurance on our home, insurance on our cars, insurance on our businesses, insurance, right? There's a lot of money in insurance. So they cash flowed. We cash flowed with that property. Let me close this little situation. There's a little beeping going on in the background. We cash flowed $7,100 on that second property. And so here's what I said. I said, you know what? These two properties, the first one was cash flowing 4,400. The second one was cash flowing 7,100, a total of 11,500. I was like, oh my gosh, that's more than one of our take-home pays at 11,500. So now for the first time in our lives, our money is punching a clock as hard as we are. It's actually working hard like we are working hard. It's not just us clocking in and punching a clock and clocking and punching. Our money is doing the same these in the form of these properties. And so you can't unsee that, right? Once you've seen it, you cannot unsee it. So that's what the biggest unlock was for me. And we said, you know what, if we don't do anything else with our lives, to build a life we don't need a vacation from, this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep doing this. And so fast forward for today, my husband and I, we purchased a portfolio ourselves, bits and pieces, sometimes in combination packs, if you will. And then we purchase properties with other investors, each of the properties generating six figures annually when it is completely up and running in a variety of different markets. So together in our family, we have about 18. Together with investors, we're at about 61 now. That says 57. We're at about 61. Got featured on Forbes for building a business around motherhood. Got to grace the TEDx stage. We get to speak all over the place. And so just fast forward to today. Our journey has been nothing short of amazing. I have gone from being burnt out and overworked to being a sought after keynote speaker. I got to host summits and with mastermind groups such as Keller Williams. We have a top 10% podcast. We get to travel. What lights me up the most, guys, are my kiddos. So these are my kiddos from Uganda. We get to support schools in Kenya, in Haiti, all the places. And here's what I want you to know on the real estate front. So today I'm going to share with you the 4 insider strategies behind a lucrative two-door strategy. These strategies come from launching over 500 properties with other dentists, physicians, pharmacists, medical professionals, engineers, high income professionals who are getting taxed up to their eyeballs. So here's what I know. I know what works and I know exactly what doesn't. And that is why I'm super excited to share with you today. 72% of our business revenue comes from my rentals. I get to say no to the projects that drain me and yes to the projects that light me up. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it would feel like if you only said yes to the projects, to the work shifts, to the people, to the partnerships that truly light you up? Give me a yes in the chat. And I see we have some active participants already. Super excited that you are engaging with us. For the most active participant towards the end, we're going to give you an extra special surprise. Okay, so guys, get in the chat. Let's have a conversation together if you're available to. I know it's a Saturday and we're trying to do the most on a day like this. So now it's time for a pop quiz. Pop quiz hot shot. Question number 1, true or false? True or false? Let me know in the chat. True or false? If you make over $150,000 a year household income, you have more legal tax loopholes than everyone else. More money, more options. Am I right? Type a true or false right now in the chat. Okay, so here's the reality. And for those of you who are online, join us in the Zoom room. Join us, DM me to get into the Zoom room. It's really important you get in the Zoom room because that way you get the resources we're going to drop in just a minute, okay? And when you get into the Zoom room, a comment Zoom in the chat so that we make sure that you get all of the links and all of the things. All right. All right, so here we go. Here's the reality. High income earners, they pay the highest average tax income rates than any other group. Most tax benefits actually start phasing out after $100,000 a year and are virtually gone after $150,000. So you actually have fewer tools to help save on taxes, which means that the fewer tools that are legal, you want to make sure you know those cold because just one of them can slash your taxes down to 80 to 100%. That is why we're here today. I'm not a tax strategist, but taxes have been the biggest unlock in my life to getting me back a lot of that money that I was already making. Some of you are making a lot of money. You're just not seeing it because you don't get to keep it. IRS is picking your pockets. Okay, so that is why I'm here today. So the answer is false. And if you typed in true, I love that for you, but that is the myth that we're dispelling today. Okay, I'm going to take a little sip. Guys, the Zoom room is lit up, okay? And if you're in the Zoom, you're there. Jenna, you're good. You're in the right place, my friend. We have people on YouTube. We have people on Instagram. We have people on TikTok and all the places. However, we want you to migrate to the Zoom room because that's where you're going to get immediately. Tawana, you're in the Zoom room. Yes, ma'am. You're awesome. You're in the Zoom room, my friend. Amazing. Amazing. So for those of you who are out in the world, we want you in the Zoom room to make sure that you have an opportunity to get the resource. We're about to drop a resource in a moment, okay? So question number two, paying taxes every year while trying to grow your savings, right? It's okay. It doesn't really make a big difference in the long run. So do you feel like you're paying your taxes just fine? Of course, it's getting taken out of your W-2, but you know what? Your savings, is beefy. It's good. It's solid. It's feeling like, yeah, I'm making progress. Yes, paying the tax part is annoying for sure. It's just the cost of doing business, right? True or false? Paying taxes is just the cost of doing business. But it doesn't impact me at the end of the today because my saving is popping. I am good to go. Tell me how you really feel about this, true or false? Okay. Some people are like true, but Gina is like false. And Gina, it is false. And you knew it was false. But the thing, Teresa, yes, Teresa, it is false. But you knew it was false. But I bet you didn't know how big of a difference it is. And I'm going to show you something. Watch this real quick. Watch this. Imagine, and this is something that I learned from my centimillionaire mentors, okay? So when I learn something from these centimillionaire mentors of mine, and I've got two mentors who are billionaires, I come and I bring it down to the people. I say, I need the rest of the people to understand this, okay? So here's what I learned. Look on the left column. On the left-hand column, you have $1. We're going to start with $1. That $1 is going to double every single year, okay? Look at the very bottom at year 20. In year 20, when that dollar doubles every single year, we're at $1.048 million. Okay. That is what that doubling looks like. Nobody's touching it. We're just doubling it. Now let's look on the right-hand side. Look at the right-hand column. Same doubling, same 20 years. Okay. But every time though, before it doubles, Uncle Sam takes a bite out of it. He takes a 33% bite every time before it doubles. Look at what year 20 looks like. You didn't even crack $30,000. Okay. So this is more like of an ethereal thing. I need you to understand. So it's not just the bite, the 33% of the bite, it's the compounding of the bite. The compounding of the bite is eating you alive. You don't even realize it. You don't even feel it because it's just happening in the background. So the answer is false. Paying taxes every year, the full amount of taxes every year, is slowing down your money by a lot. You saw that. Double your money, no bite, you're at $1 million. Double your money with the bite, you're at less than 30,000. Hopefully that's a wake-up call for a lot of you in the room. Question number 3, this is multiple choice right here. What is the smartest way for high earners to grow their money faster? Is it A, buying silver or gold, B, high yield savings accounts, C, working extra shifts, or D, paying less in taxes and investing in things that grow faster than inflation? Let me know in the chat. D. I think we're finally on the same page, guys. Yes. So you're being attacked on both sides. We already talked about 33% bite. You just watch what happened there. Now let's talk about on the other side. The rest that's left over. Remember that 28,000 that you had left over? Inflation is eating that too. Inflation is eating that too. According to U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the dollar has lost 82% of its value over the last 50 years. So that's a whole other hidden tax that nobody asked your permission for. So if you think I'm just going to savings accounts cannot outrun what we're talking about. Gold, it has its moments, but it's just sitting there. Working extra shifts, you're going to hand more money to the IRS at your highest tax bracket. The only way to fight back, and we're going to fight back, guys, the only way to fight back is to legally pay less in taxes and to put your money in assets that grow faster than inflation. So you guys are right. We have a unanimous vote. It is D. You nailed it. Last question. What is the most, and this is actually the money question, okay? Another multiple choice. And it actually took me years to figure out. And I'm going to show you a table as to why I was wrong when I was starting, okay? So what is the most powerful way for high income earners to legally shelter 80 to 100% of their income and potentially pay less in taxes? Not pay less, actually, and potentially pay zero in taxes. Is it A, maximize your 401k, HSA, FSA? Is it B, common deductions, home office, student loan interest? Is it C, real estate strategies? Is it D, high risk tax shelters like oil and gas? Let me show you this table. The answer is C, but I want to show you something, okay? Look at B, for instance. B, those deductions, I used to be ready to put on boxing gloves to fight with my CPA. Did you get my pens? Did you get my printer paper? I want to save as much in taxes as I can. My pens and printer paper. Give me a yes in the chat if you resonate with that. You thought those small expenses are the ones that were going to make an impact. I don't know why I thought that, right? Turns out it's a 1 to 2% tax saving. I'm fighting for my life, fighting energetically. My whole nervous system is activated for a 1 to 2% tax saving. Come on, right? What about B? What about A? Let's look at A. Maxing out 401k, HSA, FSA, daycare, all of that. That's 3 to 5%. We're going to keep doing those. We're going to do all that we can. Every bit counts, right? But when we look at D, D is the risky stuff. It's the stuff they whisper around in the break room at the hospital, right? They're like, oh, have you seen that new tech startup? Oh, are you investing in oil and gas? You're not investing oil and gas. Oh, what are you doing this and that or the other? So those things are 5 to 10% impact, which is not bad if you don't lose your shirt. If you don't lose your shirt, because I know just one person who has ever hit on those types of deals, but everyone else have lost their shirt. So 1 out of 10 will win with these really risky different strategies. Now, can we look at C for a second? Can we look at C for a second? Real estate strategies have an 80 to 100% tax reduction opportunity. And yet we're fighting over 1 to 2%. We're fighting over 3 to 5%. We're fighting over 5 to 10%. And right there in plain sight, sitting right there in plain sight, 80 to 100%. We fight for crumbs and walk right past the loaf. So doesn't it make sense to have real estate as a core part of your tax savings and investing approach? Yes or yes in the chat? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Let me know in the chat. The chat is lit up. Lots of yeses and a yeppers from Gina. Yes, 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 absolutely. So that is today. We're going to talk about how to build a life-changing portfolio with 2 AI-powered rentals without sacrificing time, family, or sanity. 2 doors, not 20. AI doing the heavy lifting, and your family gets to keep you. You get to invest in your own self-care. Let us dive in. So, you, my friend, are in the right place if you're excited to build a high earning, tax smart portfolio that grows your income and slashes your IRS bill so you can finally stop working hard just to give half of it away. Or maybe this is you're extremely motivated to cutting back on your W-2 or private practice hours so you can spend more time doing the things you love with the people you love the most. Or maybe this is you're kind of frustrated. You've dabbled and dipped the toe in a few things and you are not seeing a reward for your effort. Some of you bought into the hype that you never should have bought into. And that frustration, I'm going to tell you right now, it's okay to be frustrated. That frustration is a catalyst. It's a catalyst for change because although you're frustrated, but now you're determined to figuring it out and to positioning your whole strategy around what is going to serve me. So if that is you, let me know in the chat. Give me a 1 if you're excited about tax strategy and savings plus cash flow. Give me a 2 in the chat. If you're like, I really need to figure out a way to go part-time and leave the W-2 behind, give me a 3 in the chat. If you have dipped your toe into a few things and dabble a little real estate, oil and gas, fix and flip, ATM, long-term rental, but you're kind of frustrated because it's completely out of alignment with where you are right now. Give me a 3 if that's you. Give me a 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of 1s. I see a lot of 2s, some 3s. All right, for the 2s, let us know. Holler at us. Let us know, what is that specialty? What do you do? What's that number 2 we're wanting to come back on? That might be a cautionary tale for those of us who are newer, wanting to get into something a little bit spicy. Okay, Gabby says OBGYN. Vidya says oncology. Asima says primary care. Hospitalist. Gina says entertainment producer. Ooh, tell us about that. That sounds spicy. Gina, I would want to be an entertainment producer. I love that. Judith says psychotherapy. We've got neurohospitalist, physical therapy, surgeon. I see you, Alexa, surgeon and hospice palliative care medicine physician. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. Tawana, military healthcare, Priya, dermatology. Let's see, Rochelle, psychiatry. Keep it coming, guys. Let me know in the chat, what is that specialty? Because whatever your reason and motivation for being right here, right now, know that I fully support you. So if you're anything like me, you know exactly where we're going at all times. This is the framework, guys. We're going to talk about landing that deal, then we're going to transition to launching it as a short-term rental. Then we're going to switch it to a hybrid of short-term and mid-term rental for more stability. And then we're going to automate it to let the cash flow roll in. So a lot of AI talk as well. And if you find this content to be helpful and you want to take the next step, I'm going to show you exactly how you can work with me further, okay? I believe that creating a profitable two-door portfolio is one of the most powerful and strategic ways to make an impact and income while growing your income to life-changing levels. Let's talk about land. First is landing that deal. Number one question I get asked is, where should I invest? Where should I invest? So with landing that deal, it's all about getting the right property the right way so that you immediately qualify for those huge tax savings right out the gate. Okay, we're going to talk about exactly where you're going to invest. We're going to pinpoint different markets. I'm going to show you exactly my methodology. But before we get in there, we have to do a little bit of a woo activity. I know. Hear me out. Stick with me. Stick with me. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Hear me out. Real quick, guys, it's really important. This is, again, what I learned from my Centimillionaire mentors. Your relationship with money is so important, and it actually shapes how you treat it. Some of us grew up, and I'm going to take a seat in a second. Excuse me. Some of us grew up hearing that money doesn't grow on trees, right? Some of us grew up with a scarcity mindset around money. Some of us grew up with an abundant mindset about money, right? Whether you think money is a good thing or it makes you greedy, whatever your parents told you about money, that is the story that is probably still running around in your head today. And it is quietly deciding your financial future. So here's your homework this weekend. This weekend, I would love for you to take a screenshot of this screen right here. For those of you in the Zoom room with me, take a screenshot. Okay, this is your homework. Take a screenshot. And once you have taken the screenshot, I want you to answer those journal questions. Okay, we're not going to do this right now. It's one page, answer the journal questions. We're going to move into the calculations in a moment because before we pick any market, we need to determine and decide every decision around one question. And that question is, what does financial freedom mean to you? Okay. What does financial freedom mean to you? And it means something different for different people. Okay. So, what does it mean to you specifically? I want specifics. I want us to talk specifics. What does financial freedom mean to you? It's really, really, really important. Start typing in the chat. I think this is important because this is how I was able to go from working 14-hour shifts. I jotted down financial freedom for me meant picking up my boys from school on a random Tuesday or Thursday. For me, that was like what was missing from my life. But now it has grown. I'll go first. It has grown. It has expanded to being able to leverage our resources to build self-sustainable orphanages in developing nations. And so it has changed, guys. I'm gonna go down a little bit more. It has changed significantly, but I didn't always start there, right? I started off begging for days off, begging for time off, begging, um, just to have a little bit of margin in my time. But now it has changed. So my definition of financial freedom is completely different from where I started. So I'm going to get off of camera and I want to look at you guys eyeball to eyeball for a moment. Let me stop sharing screens. There we go. There we go. So let me know in the chat, what does financial freedom mean to you? I see them coming in. Building a legacy for the next generation. I love that. A better life with family. I love that. Serving others, being with family and friends. Yes. Time for family and myself, building generational wealth. Oh, love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you see the difference, right? Oftentimes people think that, okay, we're making this money to become Mr. Moneybags or Mrs. Moneybags. All of a sudden, once you're able to resolve your own problems and your own constraints, now you have the ability to think bigger and to dream bigger and to serve others in a way that is just oh so very meaningful. So really, really proud of who we have in the room to build generational wealth and entrepreneurship. I love that. Financial peace, spending time traveling with my wife. Yes. Creating spectrum spaces, creating spaces for kids on the autism spectrum in short-term rentals, guys, and not to worry about money. Yes, 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 yes. So much. Yes, I love that, Gina. So good. So good. I'm gonna take a little sip. Mm, I love it. And so for those of you who are sitting on the sidelines thinking, oh, Rachel, what a woo-woo project. Why is it important for me to even write this down? I will tell you, I attest my early retirement. I was able to retire back in 23. I attest my early retirement and my ability to have supporters around me. We come together for these initiatives. I attest all of that to writing some things down. Okay. So whether you write it down for us to read here in the Zoom room, or only I have access to reading what's in the Zoom room, whether you're writing it down for us to read here or you're writing it down on a piece of paper over the weekend, I think it's really, really important that we are writing things down. Okay. All right. Without further ado, we're going to get back to sharing screens. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to get into some definitions as well as some calculations in just a moment. Okay. All right. Definition number one. What is a long-term rental? Just to set the stage, I do not invest in short and long-term rentals, but a long-term rental is an unfurnished property where you leverage a 12-month lease. I grew up in these. That's most people think real estate is long-term rentals, okay? So long-term rentals, unfurnished, 12-month lease, okay? All right. Short-term rental is Airbnb. It's kind of like Airbnb. It's furnished. You rent it out 2 nights at a time. That's kind of your Airbnb. A midterm rental is that in between, right? It's a 30-day stay, furnished or unfurnished. I highly recommend furnished. Okay. Furnished is where you get the biggest bang for your buck. Okay. So that is your midterm rental, is your furnished 30-day stay situation. All right. There we go. Awesome. Now, if a property is within 30 minutes from an airport, university, a hotel, or a hospital or specified industry, it has the potential to make a great midterm or short-term rental. Okay. So I'm super excited to share this free and simple strategy that I use. It's worked for me every single time. It's called the Millionaire Next Door Party. And this approach is exactly how I get started. I like to go into markets and find the $1 million properties and buy adjacent properties over that still can draft over the revenue potential on those properties. It's so much easier than you think. Let it be easy, guys. In 2026, we're more than halfway through the year. Let it be easy, please. Can we let it be easy? So you're going to get a resource guide in just a moment where I'm going to walk you through step by step over the weekend. We're not going to do this now, but here's what the activity looks like. You're going to set a timer for 2 minutes, find a few markets that you may be interested in. And then from there, we're going to grab one of the markets and place them into airdna.co. And once you've placed it in there, now you have an idea of the revenue potential for that market. Okay. Now, if it's in the $30,000 range, that's a hard no for me. But look, this is projected at 102,000. I'm like, wow, 102,000. That is amazing. This is exactly one of the top markets that showed up for me on during that activity. When I Googled what are the top markets for beach properties, I was flabbergasted when I saw 102,000, especially when after residency, my very first salary was $92,000 a year. So for me, that was like, whoa, that is a lot of money. So I got really, really, really excited about that. Okay. So good stuff. Now, from there, you're going to add in your upper budget limit on Zillow. So if your budget is, say, $400,000 or $500,000, you're going to update the upper budget limit. Otherwise, you're going to see $20 million properties for sale, which is completely out of our budget. So this is exactly what we did. And we purchased a property for $550,000 that is valued at 1.13, and it generates $174,000 per year. And that's it, guys. We're going to dive into more, but for now, we celebrate because you have a free and easy way to identify the most profitable short-term and mid-term rental markets. And just for showing up live, we're dropping a resource in the chat for you. So go ahead and grab that. So if you're in the Zoom room, you should see the resource right now in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Look in the chat for your free resource. And this is your step-by-step resource. And it's your Show Up Live bonus workbook. And this is how we leverage a two-door revenue, two-door strategy, the $1 million framework there. Okay. Because once you understand how to take a standard rental and turn it into a high-paying midterm rental or a high-paying short-term rental, once that happens, that is when financial freedom falls right in your lap. And this is exactly what Doctors Ryan and Hesina did. They're two physicians out of the Indiana market. They launched their property in Michigan and was able to generate $100,000 in bookings prior to closing on the $410,000 property. Okay, so this is knowing, it all has to do with knowing exactly who is paying top dollar in a market before you buy in the market. That is how we land the deal. Okay. Now, where are you on your real estate investing journey? Give me a 1 in the chat if you don't have a property or a market yet, but you're thinking to yourself, okay, 2026 is where I need to make a change. Give me a 1 in the chat if that is you. Give me a 2 in the chat if you have a property, but you haven't really implemented these two-door strategies. You are not generating the income that we're talking about. You're not generating the tax savings that we're talking about. Give me a 2 in the chat if that is you. Give me a 3 in the chat if you are doing this already. You've got short-term rentals, you've got midterm rentals, you're generating tax savings, you're generating a massive amount of income. Give me a 3 in the chat if that is you. Awesome. Okay. Keep it coming, guys. Let us know where you're at. Next up, we have a launch. Okay, first we landed the deal. Now we're going to launch it specifically as a short-term rental. And so the second question I get asked, well, how much does it cost to get started to launching it as a short-term rental? Okay, let's talk about short-term rentals. Why do we launch as a short-term rental? When we launch as a short-term rental, we set up the property for the year one maximize turbocharge tax breaks. You do that with a short-term rental. Okay, no other investing strategy is going to give us that unless you go into like medical office investing, like very large commercial real estate. Okay, so we're going to launch it as short-term rental. Short-term rental gives us a couple of things. We build equity, we build tax savings, we build cash flow, we build debt pay down. Okay, so you can even get started on a smaller budget. Dr. Tim and Carolyn, they are pharmacists out of the Austin market. They first invested in Destin, Florida, and then they invested in Maine. They have a 6-bedroom in Maine, and then they have some properties in Austin as well. So what is a landlord owner? So this is when you purchase a property, when you purchase it, you leverage it for cash flow appreciation, equity, debt pay down. I absolutely love landlord ownership. You'll hear online there are different ways to get into real estate, but for our members in our community, this is the most aligned way because ultimately it delivers the highest return on investment. Now, as far as our funding super stack, I want to share with you some different scenarios for funding. So this is Doctors Gladys and her husband, Sean. He is a petrol engineer. Dr. Gladys, she is a physiatrist. And so I want to break down their numbers and what it took for them to invest. Okay. So they sat in a masterclass just like this, and they ended up asking to attend something we call the blueprint. And there they made 7 decisions and they started with around $61,000 or so. And so this is a text from Sean where he says, we're getting back $123,000. So imagine he invested 60,000 and he's getting back $123,000 on their tax return just a few months after investing the 61,000. Okay. So I'm going to break down exactly the scenario they went through to come up with that particular number. But I will say this, it was not by accident. It's from developing an actual plan that was in alignment with their lives. Okay. So we have already talked about AirDNA, but when it comes to underwriting properties, like the banks that we work with, they use AirDNA in order to underwrite the property. So can the property perform? Can the property generate a meaningful amount of revenue to cover the actual loan payment is what they're asking for. Okay. All right. So let's break down why I am all about short-term rentals right now. Well, it has to do with breaking news, and this is worth paying full attention. So if you're multitasking, come back to me. So breaking news, here's what's happening right now. As of July of 2025, 100% bonus depreciation is back. So in plain English, what that means is you buy a property this year, the IRS lets you write off a massive chunk of the property in year one, not spread it over 27 and a half years. In year one, you're writing off a whole lot of the initial investment. That is the window that we're in right now. If you started in early 2025 or 2024, you were too early. If you wait until next year, the rules, they're going to change on you again. But right now, the window is completely open because at the end of the day, to make more money, sometimes you have to reevaluate the money you already made. Can we keep some of the money that we already made because we're fighting for our lives? And so this is not just Rachel's opinion. I co-authored a book with Amanda Hahn, one of the top real estate strategists, tax strategists in the country. And this is the exact same playbook that Dr. Sita said she used to shelter $200,000 of her W-2 income tax last year. And so here's what you need to know specifically when it comes to your household income. If you're making 100,000, 150,000 or more in household income, high earners like you are paying 74% of the IRS's federal income taxes. So you are the IRS's favorite customer. Congratulations, right? And then we've already talked about inflation, right? 82% of the dollar value has dropped. So now you have two taxes that you are burdened with. And here's what I want you to remember. If you don't have a tax strategy, you are the tax strategy. You're the plan. You're the whole plan. You may not have a plan for you and your family, but you got a plan for the government because they got a plan for you. Now, those who are wealthy, they think and play at a different set of rules. And this afternoon, I'm handing you those rules right now. And these are legal ways, okay? There are 3 legal doors that will save you 100% of your taxes legally. Door number 1, real estate professional status, rep status. A lot of you will not qualify because when I said in the beginning, I said, what is your specialty? What do you do for a living? No one said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you actually would qualify for rep status, but no one said that in the chat. So I'm assuming we don't have that in the room right now. So if your spouse is a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, yes, you would qualify for rep status, but I don't know a lot of households who are able to pull that off lately, okay? Now, so door number 1, let's eliminate it. Let's put like a big X. Eek! You do not qualify. Door number 2. Actually, let's go to door number 3. Door number 3. So my CPA was telling me, hey, why don't you buy a medical office to save 100% of your taxes? I'm like, cool story. But are you going to lend me a cool $2 million to make that happen? Can we holler at $2 million real quick? Like, I don't have a cool $2 million sitting around in my bank account waiting to invest in a big commercial real estate center so that I can save on taxes. That just was not my reality at the time. Okay. So door number 2, door number 3, medical office, not even close, not even a thing, right? Not even relatable. So we're going to put a big old X here. Now standing right there, right in the middle, dead center in the middle, door number 2, the short-term rental loophole hiding in plain sight. No having to be a stay-at-home mom or having that in your current reality. No having to have a cool $2 million in the wings. I walked through door number 2 with $19,000 down payment. And it's the only door that gets you 100% bonus depreciation this year while this window is open. This is the door for many of you. And so here's the reason that this can happen. It's because of something called a cost segregation studies, where engineer breaks down the property into pieces, the roof, the appliances, the furniture. And instead of depreciating over 37 and a half years, we can accelerate it and depreciate it all in year 1. And I've been preaching this to the high heavens since 2018. I do want to allow other members in our community, whenever they leverage this, I say, okay, now you break down exactly what you did and how you did it. And so I want to introduce you to Quay. She is an attorney. Her husband is a trauma surgeon. And here's what she has to say about it.
We should do this because there's a tax benefit for short-term rentals, we did this with our farmhouse. Let's just make the numbers easy for $500,000. So in the year you purchase the short-term rental, you should do a cost segregation study. The way they do it is, so we purchase it for 500. Let's say the land was valued at 100,000. So they deduct the value of the land. So then it's $400,000 of value in your house. And they go and assign a dollar amount to everything, your roof, your dishwasher, et cetera, et cetera. And they come up with a number. What they do is they advance the depreciation on the house. Instead of taking it over 30 years on your taxes, you take it over a shorter period of time and you're able to deduct 30% of that. So for us, the way the numbers work, we purchased the house for 519. Okay, through the cost segregation study, we were able to get $107,000 tax deduction off of my husband's income. He's nearing retirement, so he's at a very high income level. So $107,000 off that income was significant. All right. So then what do I have to do in order to really get that deduction? I have to do 100 hours of material participation and more than anyone else. And then you have to have a certain amount of bookings. When you hear things that sound like too good to be true, you're like, oh no, this is like somebody trying to sell me the Brooklyn Bridge again. But really, it works. That short-term rental tax deduction is going to be phased out. The legislation's already in place. Let's say I did it this year, I would get 100% of the $107,000. So next year it's 80%. So I'll get only 80% and then it will phase out from there on.
60%, then 40, yeah.
So
Okay, so that was my point. The point was to show you someone else explaining it because there's, we resonate with different explanations and different ways of things being explained to us. So that's why I wanted to show you real quick. All right. So interaction in the chat. Tell me in the chat if you are a tax strategy first person. Give me one. If you're like, the taxes are eating me alive, I need tax strategy immediately. Give me a 2 in the chat. If you're a cash flow first person, you're like, you know what? The taxes, we've got them locked in, but I'm more interested in the cash flow. Give me a 3 in the chat. If you're greedy like me, you want both. I want all the things. I want everything. I want taxes. I want cash flow. I want depreciation. Look, I want appreciation. I want equity. Yes, Alexis. Yes, three. Yes, I want all the things. Okay, we've covered land, we've covered launch. Now we know why we need to launch as a short-term rental. And then next up, we talk about pivot. Let's talk about pivoting to a midterm rental, short-term rental hybrid for more stability. Okay, so come the following year, we flip the switch to midterm rentals. Think high pay, low hassle, 3-month stays, bringing in premium income month after month after month. And real quick, if you have to drop off, I don't recommend it. I recommend you stay to the very end. Oh my gosh, I've got some amazing bonuses that I want to share with you for those who stay to the very end. But if you have to drop off in case of emergency, skip the line in the chat. We will reserve your spot and then add your name, your phone number, your email address, and we'll get back in touch with you. But stay to the very end because look at all this goodness that I've got prepared for you guys. So when it comes to midterm rental demand, there are a variety of different avatars that require a month-to-month furnished housing. And I've got them all, not all of them listed here. There's 56. I've got a few of them listed here for your viewing pleasure. And here's the deal though, when it comes to midterm rental strategy, I like to focus on the actual industries that have the deepest pockets. According to VEREIT's property casualty results, after all the bills were paid, employees' claims were paid, they had an extra $1.03 trillion lying around. And I don't know about you, but if people have more than $1 trillion lying around, they want to give it away. I want some. I want some of that. So rather than working with an industry that is upside down or in the negative, I'd rather work with an industry that has that amount of surplus lying around. And so the way it works is, unfortunately, 6 million Americans were displaced from their home last year due to disaster. So a family's home is damaged, their insurance finds them a fully furnished home to stay in while repairs are being made. And that family moves into the home, and that home happens to be your home. It's their temporary house, the place that they get to stay, their home away from home while their home is being repaired. And they don't pay you a dime. Their homeowner's insurance pays you the rent month after month after month. This is exactly what Dr. Esther, a hospitalist out of North Georgia, she experienced a $7,500 a month booking for water damage. Dr. Gabriella $9,600 a month booking for water damage. This is Dr. Mason out of Idaho. His 2-bedroom property earned $72.85 per month, and it was fire damage. This is an example of a proposal they sent to me. They said, Rachel, can I rent out your property for $14,657.14 per month? I said, yes, please. Yes, you may. This is Tamar. She got $9,500 a month per month for 3 months. These are the stories time and time again that we see inside of our community, and the damage that occurs. It doesn't have to be a natural catastrophe. A lot of the catastrophes are man-made catastrophes, such as water damage. 80% of my bookings come from water damage, from water pipes that are bursting, that are leaky, appliances that are leaking, plumbing issues that occur that cause so much damage to a property. We have fire damage that comes from maybe a cooking accident or an electrical problem or some other source of ignition. So think just man-made catastrophes that happen everywhere. The natural catastrophes, they're usually market specific. Okay. So this is Dr. Jolie. She's an infectious disease doc out of the Chicago market. She said, you know what? She didn't want to make the change, but when she revisited Rachel's 5 rules, I went ahead and did it. I advertised on the platforms and bit my nails. 2 days after, for those sitting in the back, 2 days after, someone contacted her last week. Now the money is wired. The family is moving in today. It's winter, so water pipes are bursting. We are trusting the process. And I want to show you exactly who we're dealing with, because this is what this business is about. This is the impact that I'm talking about. This is people's actual lives. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a couple of stories. This first one here that came in says, my house just burnt down. I have cancer treatment this week and need a place stable nearby. This one is a family that needs a place closer to their daughter's school while their home is being repaired. This one states, our records show that we have worked with you in the past to talk about reputation. We've worked with you in the past, and we're looking for a 3 to 4 bedroom with a 12-month lease. Okay, and then the option to extend month after month, and they want to move as early as next week. This next one says, we're a corporate housing vendor looking to book a stay for our client that will be out of their homes during repairs. And this next one says, my company works to assist families that have lost their home due to disaster find short-term housing. They're looking for a 6-month lease with the option to extend month after month. These are the people that we get to serve inside of our community. And Michelle, who is a nurse out of the Indianapolis market, she grabbed that 6-month booking. She took the funds for 1 month. She went and took a 1-month sabbatical and went to Tulum, because she said the $7,400 per month she was getting for her property, that was her cash flow that went into her pocket, was more than enough of what she needed to just take a 1 month off, take a breather. I want to share with you Ruben's story. Ruben is absolutely amazing. He's a realtor out of the Boston, Massachusetts market. Initially, the insurance paid him $40,000, but they kept extending. That contract ended up being worth $63,425 for that first booking. But I want him to speak to you in his own words, because he's taken this strategy and blown it all the way up to
big thanks to Rachel Gainsborough, who pulled me into the world of midterm rentals. I had never heard of midterm rentals before. I was not familiar with the concept. Been operating in the short-term rental space for a good amount of time, but we never gone into that ecosystem. With a simple investment, she pulled a tight-knit circle of short-term rental operators and taught us exactly the steps required to land midterm rental contracts. Specifically, what had gotten my attention was a home insurance policy owners. A month after implementing what she told me, we just landed a $40,000 contract for 5 months. The math on that is actually just under $8,000 per month, $7,950. My overhead is $2,400, which means that we'll be bringing in $5,500 net per month, a side of the industry that I had no idea even existed until it was introduced to me by someone who had actually done it. So thank you, Rachel.
Okay, so for those of you on Instagram and YouTube, we are also in a Zoom room. So DM me Zoom for the link to the Zoom room. I was just sharing a story with Ruben here, which was where he shared that he landed this contract, he did all of the math for you, he walked away with $5,500 per month net. So I don't know what your number is. So Michelle, she walked away with 7,400 net. Ruben walked away with 5,500 net from these midterm rental guests, which is amazing. So these are really, really solid numbers. These are numbers that help you to say, you know what, hold up, wait a minute, right? We're not talking about 10 properties generating us $100 per month net. No, we're talking about something very substantial. And there are stories upon stories upon stories inside of our community like this. So I really believe in this concept of leveraging these furnished rentals to help families who are impacted negatively by a catastrophe in our communities. So now I want to talk about what's your number. So again, Ruben was 5,500 net. Michelle was 7,400 net. Let's be conservative. What if your number is just a cool, let's round it off, $5,000 net per month? What if that's your number? And these are families who are booked for months at a stretch. I don't know about you, but my handyman Jose, he ghosted me once again. And this is to put up a ceiling fan. This is to put up to do something with our HVAC. Like we keep getting ghosted by our trusted contractors, and that is what's causing a delay. Sometimes it's supply chain, the actual pieces and the parts, so they cannot get to them fast enough. So not only does the project require an extension itself, because it may be more of a complicated project, the fire damage is a big deal, but then there's contractor delays, there's missing parts delays. And what does that mean for you as a vendor that is offering furnished housing? That means you get a month extension and then another month extension and then another month extension, right? So these are people who are booked at months at a stretch. So question for you is, what would you do if you were able to create an extra, actually, what would you stop doing? Let's do that. What would you stop doing if you're able to create a highly profitable two-door portfolio where each door is putting an extra $5,000 a month into your pocket? And these are people who are booking at months at a stretch and extending. What would you stop doing? Don't overthink it. Tell me exactly what would you stop doing in the chat right now. Okay, I'm looking at the chat. I would stop living paycheck to paycheck on a six-figure salary. Oh my goodness. Yes, I would stop looking at my student loans as a life sentence, right? Keep it coming, guys. What would you stop doing? I would stop missing my kids' bedtime. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm looking. I have my phone kind of in the way. Keep it coming, guys. I would stop feeling guilty every time I spend on myself. Yes, king. Yes, queen. I told you, Michelle, she went and she took a sabbatical all the way to Tulum. I would stop picking up extra shifts and would go part-time. I see you, Tawana. Yes, I love that so much. I would stop taking weekend call. Amazing. I would stop saying yes to extra shifts that I don't want. Listen, you're not alone, friend. You are not alone. I would stop working 6 days a week as a dentist. Yes. Ooh, Gina says I would stop picking just one vacation for a year. Yes, Queen, I would pick several. I love that so much, so much. Okay, guys, so we've covered landing a great deal, launching the short-term rental, pivoting to a short-term midterm rental hybrid. Now we're gonna talk about profiting. Okay, we're gonna talk about profiting using AI on automations. Okay, so that you don't need to invest more than 2 hours per week. Okay, so we automate a lot inside of our businesses and we let the cash flow roll in. Guys, I cannot tell you what an unprecedented time that we are living in right now with AI. It is insane. AI actually takes control of my mouse and clicks on things on my computer. It is bananas to me what AI can do right now. It is bananas to me. And so this is how we're buying back our time. And this is how our members are investing in the best possible markets that is within their budget and that is aligned with where they're at. It doesn't matter where you are now, you can manage a property out of state using these AI tools and one or two boots on the ground. Your cleaner, serves as boots on the ground. This is how Heather is able to purchase a property in Florida while she lives in Georgia. This is how Angela is able to be in New York and her properties in Texas. This is how Dr. Karen is in Jersey and her properties in Pennsylvania. This is how Dr. Katie is in California and her properties are in Oklahoma, as well as the Smokies of Tennessee. So when you're launching your short-term rental, you need a solid team for faster implementation. The faster you implement, the faster you get to your return on investment. And so with our AI team, or our entire team is comprised of 2 humans and a whole bunch of AI resources. Okay. So human number 1 is our cleaning team. Human number 2 is our maintenance person that caught, oh, because you weren't using the app. I am using the app. Stop. Okay, sorry. And then our AI team, they serve in so many roles. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. I'm gonna go ahead and share. I'm gonna move this over real quick so that those who are on Instagram, you guys get to see. Here's our AI property operating system, guys. And so I want to introduce you just a few people on the team that are your competitive advantage. We have Gina, the guidebook architect, Fiona, the direct booking funnel director, Lexi, the listing architect, the Audrey, the listing auditor, Carrie, the carousel sniper, Stella, the cinematic director. You've got, and this is just a few of the people on your AI team. Isn't that bananas, guys? Oh my goodness. And they are amazing. So do not sleep. Do not sleep on the unprecedented opportunity that we have right now with AI. It is top tier. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through a scenario. This is an actual story, a true story right now. True story, guys. And I feel like my camera is a little bit weird, but I think I'm going to be okay. True story. A guest gets locked out at 2 in the morning. And here's what the AI does. The AI walks them through the keyless entry. That didn't work. Then walk them through the backup garage. That didn't work. Then walk them through the master lock where an actual key was located in one of those master locks and that was attached to the deck. When there's a storm, sometimes um, our keyless entry, it just goes kaput, right? If there's a really bad storm, and that is what happened, right? The whole electrical went down. And so they were able to access the property through that key in the garage. And so when my client woke up in the morning, she saw this long conversation. Okay. And once she saw the long conversation, she said, oh my gosh, I hope the guest is okay. And the bottom, the guest had the comment, thank you for so much for staying up with me till 2 in the morning to get me back in the house. Okay. So hear me out. AI has gotten so much better, so much better. It is no longer just answering a question generically. It's using the database. So we build something called the property brain. It's using the database, and it's not only protecting your rating and your reviews for your property, it actually protected her sleep all at the same time. So the guest gave a beautiful glowing review, a 5-star review. She got to sleep through the whole situation. So this is what AI can do now. Rest in peace as property managers. And if you're a property manager right now, I mean no harm, but this is what AI is able to do right now. This is how Vernita is able to manage her property in North Carolina and Portugal. So question for you, does 2 hours a week feel doable? Give me a yes if you're starting to see, oh, wow, maybe I can actually do this with 2 hours a week. Maybe this is actually possible for me. Yes, 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 absolutely. And so I want to share with you a full circle moment. I told you in the very beginning that I was using the knowledge that I learned from Bigger Pockets to start to really hone in on real estate investing. And I kind of adjusted it to what was in alignment for my life. And so, talk about a full circle moment when I had the opportunity to fly out to Maui to get interviewed on the Better Life podcast. And the name of the episode they assigned to me was You Just Need Two Doors. So if you remember one thing from this masterclass today, here's what I want you to remember. You only need 2 top performing properties to be insanely profitable. Question for you, isn't it time Isn't it time that you finally cash in on what could only be described as the greatest real estate loophole of our era? And this is one that lets high-income professionals like you tap into hidden tax and insurance dollars and create serious wealth with just 2 doors. Yes, 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 it is time. It's your time. It's your turn. So far, here's what you've seen. You have seen how inflation, taxes, and economic uncertainty are quietly draining your wealth faster than you ever imagined, no matter how hard you work or how much you've earned. And you've seen why old school real estate, long-term rentals, fix and flips, classic advice just can't keep up anymore. The game has changed. The IRS rules have literally changed. But you've also discovered something different. You've learned how smart investors, people just like you, are using cost segregation studies, bonus depreciation, to slash your tax bill, sometimes down to almost zero, and they're doing it in year one. And here's where it gets even crazier. You've seen that you don't need a giant portfolio. You don't need 10, 20, 50 doors, just two well-positioned doors. 2 doors are enough to outpace inflation, taxes, and uncertainty. 2 doors to buy back your time, your freedom, and your life. And what really flips the switch, it's not just any real estate strategy. We're talking from short-term rental to pivoting to our midterm rental. That is the secret sauce to tapping into a $1.03 trillion insurance industry where these are massive payouts that you're looking at on the screens right now. These aren't vacations, they're families who stay for month after month after month while the insurance companies pay out these big checks consistently. And I've shown you the difference between struggling to figure it out on your own to trying to truly succeeding. It's all about having the shortcuts, using the AI tools and systems and the framework and the support that take away all of the guesswork and all of the overwhelm. And best of all, you've seen just a small glimpse of the real doctors, lawyers, engineers, and busy professionals who started with just 1 or 2 doors. They have used our system to unlock massive income, tax savings, and freedom without burning out, without gambling, and without giving up on their careers. And this is just a few of them that I had the time to capture and throw onto this sheet right here. And I could go on and on and on and on and on. And I think you get it. Others just like you have done it right. Doesn't mean that you're going to pop up out of bed this morning and be able to do it yourself. Well, the answer to that it is doubtful, because when it comes to this, I probably know you better than you know yourself. You're a stubborn DIYer like me. You're like, I can do it. I have YouTube University. I've got ChatGPT. I've got Google. I can do it. And this is exactly what MM was able to do. He says, you know what? I'm taking action this year. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it on my own. So here's what happened when he decided to do it on his own. I'd rather you not do it than do it on your own. No offense. I come in peace. I'd rather you not do it than do it on your own, because doing it on your own is pretty bad, but it's worse to do it. Not doing it at all is pretty bad, but it is worse to do it on your own. And I have proof. The proof is in the pudding. Here's what MM did. He went ahead and he did it on his own. And he came back to me a year later and he said, 911. I'm at a 3.9 review. Airbnb is threatening to delist me. This whole year, I've only made $8,300 on a whole 4-bedroom house. On a whole 4-bedroom house. Okay. Whereas the people in our community with 4 bedrooms are making more than $83,000 a year on a 4-bedroom house. This is 10x what he is making, 10x plus of what he is making. And the problem is, he went into a market based off of emotions and feelings that he thought to himself, oh yeah, this is an obvious market that I'm going to go into. But there are insider secrets, even within a market. There is like sub-market level secrets that you need to be aware of that can take a whole mediocre situation and change it into life-changing income. So if you want to avoid these costly mistakes, you're going to need me in your ear, and you're going to need me to hold you by the physical hand. Okay. So stick with me. If you're multitasking, come back to me. You're going to need me to hold you by the physical hand. Just like Elena did. She said, Rachel, hold me by the hand. Take me by the hand. I said, girl, come. She shared with me this property that she got off of our vetted list with our realtors. And she says, I don't know about this property. It looks a little wonky. I said, no, this property is the one. She purchased it for $325,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property. And look at what we did with it. We turned it into gold. Remember how MM had $8,300 for the whole year? Elena, for a 3-bedroom and smaller property than MM, it's at $126,600 for the year. You guys see that? Turned it into gold. Question for you. Has our time on the masterclass thus far been well spent? Let me know in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, because my goal is to get the wheels turning for you, right? Are the wheels turning for you? Can you now clearly see how real estate can be one of the most powerful tools for reducing your tax burden, both legally and ethically? Did you catch how just two high-performing rentals can replace and even outpace that extra overtime hours, that part-time job that you got going on the side, the hours that you work that's burning you out year after year after year? If nothing changes, friend, nothing changes. Can you see how following a tested, plugged-in system where every step and decision is mapped out for you moves the confusion and lets you make confident moves instead of gambling and guessing? Does it actually feel riskier to stay stuck and keep paying higher taxes and letting inflation eat away at your income than to simply follow a proven framework, a blueprint? Yes, absolutely. Are you excited to see how 2 AI-powered properties could open up more freedom, more income, more choice for you starting now? So you have 2 choice, guys, because we're at a crossroads right now. You've seen the strategy, you've seen the numbers, you've seen the doctors, the engineers, the busy professionals who are doing that. The question is, are you going to be one of them? Because if you are, it is with great pleasure that I invite you to the Beginner's Blueprint, How to Profitably Invest in Real Estate, live and in person. And I would love to share the details with you. This is happening live in Dallas, Texas, September the 18th to 19th. We have less than 5 seats remaining. I just didn't update the slide. Last minute stuff there. So this is live and in person in Grandscapes area in Dallas, Texas. It's right in the center of the largest entertainment districts in the country. Think like creative space meets floor to ceiling windows, handcrafted coffee from our on-site bar, coffee bar rather, okay, for the record, coffee bar. This is really an atmosphere that is designed from the ground up for collaboration and to really create big ideas. It is not your stuffy hotel conference room with stale coffee. This is the kind of space where big things actually get built. And that is exactly what we're doing over 2 days on September the 18th and 19th. And so here's what the Beginner's Blueprint is. This is the only 2-day working workshop that takes overwhelmed, overtaxed professionals and turns them into confident investors. You'll make the 7 decisions that matter. You're going to skip months of analysis paralysis and leave ready to buy your first cash flowing rental that saves you $60,000 or more in taxes. So you're not going to have a whole bunch of speakers there. It's just me, myself, and I. We are working together. Bring your laptop. There will only be 20 attendees over those 2 days. That's it. 20 attendees, you and me, elbow to elbow, 2 days of training. You're going to leave with a property under contract if you so choose to do so, okay? Because I am bringing in my lenders, I am bringing in my realtors into the room so that we can make it happen. We're going to get stuff done while in the room. So here's what we're going to get done. Here's what we're putting into action. We're going to we're going to take care of the 7 decisions that matter. Your investor profile, your market using the Crow framework, your financing strategy, your property selection, guest avatar, tax strategy with cost segregation, bonus depreciation mapped out to your current situation, your 90-day launch plan, 7 decisions made, no homework, everything is done. Land, launch, pivot, profit. I want to tell you about someone inside of our community. So this is Sophia. She's an attorney out of the Atlanta market. She's working these 70-hour shifts, 70-hour weeks for the federal government. Okay, she's an attorney. So she's a JAG attorney, if you will. She called me one night saying, Rachel, I am keeping 40 cents on every dollar. I can't take it anymore. I work myself to death and the IRS is taking everything. So what I said to her was, Sophia, just come to Blueprint. I already know you're going to say you don't have time, but I need you to listen. This is how we're going to save you on your taxes. And she came and we mapped out her entire plan. She was so fired up that she went to her CPA and said, hey, look at what is possible for me now. You know what her CPA said to her? Her CPA said, congratulations, you make a lot of money. You're just going to have to pay your fair share. How dare you, CPA? How dare you? He did not budge at all. I said, Sophia, don't even worry about him. Let's go ahead and use someone from our Rolodex. And so when she used someone from our Rolodex, our person said, nope, your CPA is absolutely wrong. And so Sophia followed this new plan, a step by step. And 3 months later, she closed on a property with 0% down. She's an attorney. She was able to find this amazing lender that she shared with our community. $30,000 in bookings on day one. She sheltered $127,000 of her attorney income. And her next text to me was, girl, I am heading to Italy to the Amalfi Coast. I booked 30 days. I think that should be part of step 3 inside of our program. I need you all to book 30 days out of the country somewhere, right? And so here's what she said. This is my first vacation in 4 years. Thank you for giving me my life back. Now, my CFO and tax attorney reviewed everything that is inside of this program, and they said that it is worth $25,000 for the tax strategy alone. I know that to be true because that's how much we pay for tax strategy. And the funding strategy, that's another 6,000 or more for the funding strategies alone is what they said. So the total value packed at the beginner's blueprint is at $31,491, but here's why I'm not charging that. I need 50 Sophias this year, 50 professionals who shelter 6 figures while this 100% bonus depreciation window is open. Because when 50 Sophias become 500 and 500 Sophias become 5,000, now we're moving hundreds of millions of dollars from the IRS into the hands of the people who already earned it. Y'all worked for this, right? So this is for your family. This is for your legacy. This is for your children's education. This is for your parents' care, not another government bailout. Y'all are the ones who need this back into your lives. And so this is why I'm so passionate about this while this window open. We're literally experiencing the largest wealth transfer. And I know so many people have no idea what is at their fingertips. And so we're not charging $31,491. We're not even charging $10K. Okay. The investment for the beginner's blueprint is just $1,497. And here's the thing, you showed up on a Saturday. You could be anywhere right now. And I believe that action takers are money makers. And for everyone who is here in this masterclass with me live right now, I'm not even charging $14.97. We'll give you access to our early bird bonus pricing for just $9.97. This has already expired, but I begged my team to make an exception. If they show up live, I want them to get access to the early bird bonus pricing. I can't do any better than this for you guys. We moved mountains to create this event this year. This is our last one this year. In September, this quarter, this is our last one, because my goal is to take as many people across the finish line. Because if we can launch the property, give you the roadmap to launching the property this year, this is the time to do it. This is the time to, there's never been a better time to do it than right now. Because if we allow this serendipity to go to waste, we're in 2027 and who knows what the laws are, who knows what's going to change. So all you have to do is go to docsinvesting.com. And for those of you who go to docsinvesting.com, I want you to know that I wouldn't consider it an extra special program without some extra special bonuses. Okay, so bonus number 1 is our funding super PAC. Our funding super PAC is bonus number 1, because here's where I see people get tripped up from time to time. Smart doctors, smart engineers, they say, okay, I get the strategy. I figured out the 2 markets that I'm thinking about. I think I found the right property. And then they run straight to their credit union. The credit union looks at them like they have 3 heads, or their banker looks at them like they have 3 heads, or they pick a big lender, big box lender, and it looks like they, looks at them like they have 3 heads. Okay. And they say, you want to buy an investment and turn it into an Airbnb? And they're like, nah, that sounds weird, right? Or worse, They said, sure, we can do it. I hate when they do that. Sure, we can do it. We're going to give you this awesome interest rate. And when it comes time to close, they either ghost you or they just cannot perform. So here's what happened to Chris. Chris, she found the perfect property. She found the perfect lender. She went under contract. Perfect lender, I'm going to say that in quotations. She went under contract. And when she did 72 hours from closing, guess what happens? Her husband loses his job at LinkedIn. Their entire funding strategy collapses overnight. She called me in tears saying, oh my gosh, this deal is over. And this house meant so much more to her than you could imagine. I said, Chris, go to the funding super PAC, the funding super PAC that has all of our vetted lenders. Go down to lender number 3 and tell them the word DSCR. And she did and got pre-approved and got fully approved rather and closed on time. So Sheila by the Sea is one of the top performing properties inside of our community. And so that is what is inside bonus number 1. Bonus number 1 is my top lenders for short-term rental and midterm rental investing. These are not just Google search lenders. These are lenders that our members have used to close on $14 million in real estate in the last 6 months. You get the exclusive interviews where they break down the different loan types, when to use them, how to structure them for your specific situation. Can you see how having 16 vetted lenders in your pocket can change the entire game for you, right? Absolutely. So this funding super act is valued at $497. And I want you to know, guys, I'm not extra special. I don't have extra secret connections or exclusive resources that you don't have access to. What I do have is a proven roadmap. I have a blueprint that I use every single time that we launch a property. That's what I have. And at the beginner's blueprint, that roadmap becomes yours. I'm handing it to you at the beginner's blueprint. Bonus number 2. And here's something that I have learned working with over 500 professionals. Bonus number 2 is our 7 figures decision workbook. People who build wealth and people who research forever are separated by one thing. It's not intelligence, it's not capital, it's not work ethic. It's decisions. Specifically 7 of them. This is Dr. Helen, brilliant oncologist. I met her at the Women in Real Estate, Women in Medicine event. I don't know why I say real estate. Real estate's on top of mine, but I met her at the Women in Medicine event. She was making $350,000 a year. She was keeping less than half, and she had been researching real estate for 18 months. She had spreadsheets on spreadsheets. She had courses, 3 courses that she had never finished. She had 43 browser tabs that are open. I met her at the Women in Medicine Summit, and I said, Dr. Helen, you don't have an information problem. You have a decision problem. And that is what is killing your dreams. So she showed up at Blueprint. I handed her the 7 figure decisions workbook. 90 minutes in, all the 7 decisions were made after 18 months of analysis paralysis and no progress. Just 18 weeks after, she closed on her first property. On a random Tuesday, she shows up to school to have lunch with her daughter. No permission slip needed. No, can someone else cover my shift? None of that needed. She has more autonomy. She gets to eat dinner at home, put her kids to bed, and her daughter asked her, Mommy, how come you're home from dinner every night? And she said, it's because Mommy built something that works even when she's not there. The workbook is not just your ordinary PDF. It's not a PDF that you're not going to open. It's handed to you the moment that you walk into Blueprint, and we roadmap your entire decision making. All your decisions are decided before you leave the room. It's valued at $497. Now, I want to make this super easy. This event is built for households who are getting drained by taxes. So if your household is making $150,000 or more, if that is you, I want to offer you a day 1 hand back guarantee. So day 1 hand back, here's what it's all about. If you show up and on day 1, at any point, you're not convinced that this is wildly valuable and helpful for your current situation, you can quietly, I called it hand back. I meant you can quietly hand back your materials and walk out. However, you know what? I'm going to do you one better. Keep your materials. You can walk out and get a full refund. No forms, no hassle, no awkward conversation. Don't even have to give me a reason and don't even have to hand anything back, okay? Because if this room is designed for you, and you don't find that it's delivering, this is for those, again, those who are hit the hardest by the IRS. You don't feel like it's delivering for what you have going on. I don't want a single red cent of yours. It's just as simple as that. That is how confident I am at what these 2 days can deliver. So essentially, if you qualify for this room, guys, it is an absolute no-brainer. Bonus number 3, your customized profit map. And this is the thing that changes everything. Every other real estate event is going to send you home with maybe notes or maybe a workbook or maybe a little bit of motivation. And then on Monday morning, you're sitting there at your kitchen table thinking, okay, now what? That is not what is happening here. At the Beginner's Blueprint, we are building your customized profit map live with you in the room. And I want to show you what it looks like, because this is not a worksheet. This is what my private clients pay thousands of dollars to receive. You walk out holding your top vetted markets, your with specific zip codes, not just invest in the Southeast somewhere. No, the zip code. You have your guest avatars ranked by profit potential. We're showing you exactly who's paying top dollar in your market, how much they spend, how long they stay, what makes them book your property over a competitor's property. You get your ideal property profile, the exact bed count, the bath count, price range, the must-have features that hit your revenue targets. And you get your pricing mapped out by season. So you know what to charge during peak, what to charge during shoulder, what to charge during the low season. And you get your 90-day launch timeline in specific milestones. So you know exactly what to do first, what to do next, and then what to do after. This is the difference from guessing and knowing. Dr. Katie came to me and she had followed generic advice off of a forum, real estate forum. She had invested in all these properties in Ohio. They had some equity, but they were bleeding her money. Generic advice, generic market, wrong everything. We built her profit map, and guess what? Ohio was not even listed there. What was listed there was actually Oklahoma and Tennessee. 3 properties later, she has generated $419,000 a year from 3 properties. She sheltered $298,000 of her California taxes. Her dad is a CFO. He nearly had a heart attack when he saw the numbers. That's what a customized profit map does. It is not just information, it is intelligence specific to your income, your budget, your goals. Nobody else in the room gets the same one. This is valued at $4,400. So let me show you how all of this stacks up. Bonus number 1 is your funding super PAC, instant access to our 16 vetted lenders for short-term rental and mid-term rental investing. This is the same Rolodex that our members use to close on $14 million of real estate in 6 months. When Chris's funding fell apart, 72 hours before closing, lender number 3 in the bonus super PAC saved her deal valued at $497. Bonus number 2, your 7-figure decisions workbook. This is the paralysis breaker. I call this my analysis paralysis breaker. 7 critical decisions made in the room, not after the room, not a month after the room, not a week after the room, in the room, which is amazing. So this is the same one that Dr. Helen used and went from 18 months of analysis paralysis and 4-day 30 tabs open to closing on her first property in 8 weeks. This is the workbook that did this. This is why. Valued at $497. Bonus number 3, your customized profit map, built with you live and on the spot. Your top markets with your specific zip codes, your guest avatars ranked by profit potential, your ideal property profile, your pricing by season, your 90-day launch plan. No one else in the room gets the same profit map. Okay, so that is valued at $4,400. Total value inside of the bonuses are $53.94. And again, I've made this easy. The day 1 handback is there for you. If this room does not deliver, I don't want a single red cent of yours. So it's as simple as that. So if at day 1, you're not convinced it's wildly profitable, I said you quietly hand back your materials, but keep the materials and you can head on out and we will give you your money back, 100% of your money back. Again, docsinvesting.com is valued at $997. $997 is the early bird pricing, is valued more than that, but $997 is the early bird pricing. And for the first three people who go ahead and grab your ticket, here's what I want you to know. I believe that action takers are money makers. So this is for the first three only. Action takers are money makers. I want to share with you a resource that I was able to build together for the members who have paid over $4,000 for this resource, but I am handing it to the first three. And here's what Dr. Joy had to say
I've
about it.
received 4 bookings so far after I've activated the listing, which is great.
Wow. Guys, can we do a little hand clap emojis? Let me rocket ship. Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very nervous, but also very excited of these amazing booking prices. 2,000 for a 3-night stay, 3,000 for a 4-night stay.
You are so welcome. Goals, goals. We're getting there, lady. We're getting there. You're such an action taker, Joy.
Rachel, I'm listening to all of your podcasts. I am going through all the acquisition, the pre-launch, like these videos, and also these GPT, like AI software. Like they're becoming easily one of my best friends. Like that's how I was able to, this weekend, I had so many questions surrounding the short-term rental documents, and it was answering all my questions. It was giving me recommendations. And if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have gotten my, my answers through the AI. So thank you for that. Thank you for Notebook LM. Just thank you for all the guidance. I'm really, really grateful. That's because of you and your staff. It's helped me to get this far. So thank you.
Okay, so in order to share the first three bonus, I wanted you to hear what Joy had to say about it. And she's actually the one who inspired us to share this. Now, our members pay $45.51 for the AI Head Start kit. Joy paid $45.51 for the AI Head Start kit. That's why we can only reserve it for the first three. So the first three who grab your tickets right now this afternoon, you get something that nobody gets. You get the AI Head Start kit 2 weeks before the event. We unlock our private AI tool suite for you. So this is going to help you determine your guest avatar, those who are coming to the market, waiting and willing to pay top dollar. As you can see here, we also have your tax savvy doc playbook to help determine what your tax savings are going to be just months after you invest in a property. You get your GEMS scorecard along with your regulations bot. You just heard Dr. Joy. She said she uses it night and day to leverage these tools. She says they're becoming her best friends. And this is how she was able to achieve $3,000 for a 2-night stay, $3,000 for a 4-night stay, $2,000 for a 3-night stay. Our consultant clients, they pay $45.51 for this kit. You get it for free 2 weeks before everyone else. So I really want you to get your hands on this AI Head Start kit that is reserved for our first three. It's only fair. I know my members inside of our community are like, whoa, we paid upwards of $4,000 for this, but I said, let me just give it to you guys to give you a head start, but I am reserving it for our action takers because action takers are money makers. And so when you go to docsinvesting.com, you're going to go to a page that looks like this. You can click on secure my spot now. And then from there, you fill out your acceptance form. And I highly recommend a VIP experience. So if you select VIP, we're going to have a private lunch and some additional training questions there. And all you have to do is click this box here where it says VIP lunch. And then from there, you enter in your card information. And if you have a business bestie or a spouse that you want to come along, we are offering that add-on ticket for 50% off for your spouse and business bestie. Dr. Mariana, she came with her husband and she said that he really enjoyed it and they were able to invest in their property because he was more of a reluctant spouse. But when he got there, it was made clear to him what this opportunity was all about. So you can grab that 50% off for your bring a spouse, and then you hit the complete order. And once you've hit that and you get to a page like this, you know that you did it, okay? And then from there, you'll get an email with the contracted information. You can view and sign it, and you'll receive information and communication around the specific accommodations associated with this particular event. Okay, so we'll send you information on accommodations, curated list of recommended hotels that are within a mile of the venue once you register. Okay, so I want you to think about this. Imagine it's a Sunday after the 2-day event, after your blueprint. Picture on a Sunday morning, you've completed the blueprint workshop. You're sitting with your morning coffee, but something feels a little bit different. You have clarity for the first time ever. You have a step-by-step roadmap for exactly how to create your very first profitable luxury rental. You open your laptop and you review the customized market selection we developed together. You see your specific zip codes. You see the market that we have identified that matches your specific investment criteria. You look at your financing options that we secured specifically for your situation within 30 days of workshop. Within 30 days, you put in your first offer, and then you close on that first property. You start implementing the tax strategy that we customized for you. These are strategies that your CPA probably have never showed you that will save you tens of thousands of dollars. 6 months from now, you're launching property number 2, and you're collecting your first check from the IRS. And now you have income that is coming in month after month after month. The moment you stop thinking about real estate the moment you stop thinking about real estate and actually become a real investor is the moment that you decide. This isn't us living off of hopium. This isn't just a dream. This is the difference when you show up in the room. So the question is, will you stop dreaming about real estate, or will you start doing? That is the question. Will you stop dreaming, or will you stop doing? Because there's a huge difference 6 months can make. I want to share with you some of the members who have actually attended the event and what their interaction looks like when they show up live.
I got into real estate and found this class because originally I was just looking for some cost-saving strategies.
I am currently a healthcare professional, just going through a bit of burnout, so just looking forward to some of Dr. Rachel's methods.
I've been thinking about how to minimize my caseload as a psychologist and start to sort of broaden the use of my skill set into other areas.
I think most of the people like me are just in the daily grind, 9 to 5, just trying to make ends meet and maintaining and keep our head afloat. But like Dr. Rachel, there was always something behind that was telling me there's got to be something more than this.
I do own a dental practice. It's very challenging, and that's my goal for being here, is to replace my dental income with rental income, real estate investment income.
My husband and I are both very busy W-2 professionals, so we wanted something that is not like a 10-door strategy or 50-door strategy, but really 2-door strategy, very focused strategy, and for medical professionals, so that was really something that spoke to me.
I just kind of came in with an open mind and definitely was very pleasantly surprised by what I've learned so far.
I feel like it's a 180, and it's like a 180 that I am still I just need to go for it. Before, it was a lot of limiting beliefs. Like I said, it was just my partner and I.
I like the idea that she teaches us with just 2 properties. You know, you can run a business and have a sustainable, successful business with 2 properties if you're doing it the right way.
I feel like a beast and I haven't even done anything yet. I mean, I feel like there is nothing that I will be able to do as far as the numbers and how to work all that. And they're so personal as far as making it, this is my situation. Can you help me out with my situation? The information is not general at all. They really are interested in your particular success.
Being in her program, being in her community, I have people to bounce off ideas and problems and things like that, so that, I can continue moving forward instead of, trying to seek out someone who really doesn't understand my pain.
I can do it. Other people before me have done it as well, and they started from the beginning, and they have made it really far.
It has definitely made me realize that everything is figure outable.
They also want to help me and they want the best for me. That's something that's it's a foreign concept for me, meeting people that want the best for me.
It's pushing me to continue working on something that's really important for me.
I feel that I need to 10x my game plan after seeing Rachel Gainsborough's short-term, mid-term rental, and that's my goal, and plan to retire within the next year.
I'm going to apply it immediately just because I already have property. I came here for the hand holding and the how-to, and this is what you do next.
If you're looking for access, if you're looking for someone to hold your hand, if you're looking to actually get results by being able to be here on site, this is the kind of retreat that you want to be at because it's small, so we can pay attention to the questions and actually hold your hand and guide you.
Amazing. The hand holding, guys, is unparalleled. And for those of you who have jumped in as an action taker, massive congratulations to you. For those of you who are still kind of thinking about it, you're a little bit on the fence. Here's what I want you to ask yourself. And I ask myself this whenever I'm making the decision for my next level, right? Because remember, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so if I have a big decision to make for myself, something that is for me, I ask myself, you know what, will this decision get me closer to my goals? That's question number one. Will this decision get me closer to my goals? And if that's a yes, I move on to question number two. Does this increase my chances of success compared to doing it alone? Does this increase my chances of success compared to doing it alone? And if that's a yes, I head over to question three. Can I figure out how to make the investment work? Can I figure out how to make the investment work? And so your investment, we kept the investment at such a reasonable level at $997 for all that you're getting. So it would be an investment in your time. Can I figure out how to make the investment in my time work? And if the answer to even one of these questions is no, then do not grab a ticket for Blueprint, okay? However, if the answer is yes to all of these questions, investing in yourself right now is your actual next best move. It's the actual best logical decision that you can make, because if you risk nothing, you will get nothing. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Okay, so for those of you who have not grabbed your ticket yet, go ahead and start typing in the chat. I'm on the fence because, okay, I'm on the fence because of someone's delivering a baby. Let's go ahead and congratulate them. Yes, that is a reason not to come. If you are on the way to, that is your due date to making a baby, totally do not come. However, when we host this again in 2027, I would love to hand you early bird pricing. So please go ahead and grab a link to book a call, because I want to make sure we reserve your early bird pricing, okay? I'm on the fence because if you are delivering a baby that day, do not come. And massive congratulations to you, sending you healthy wishes for the baby delivery. That makes sense. Yes, do not come if you're delivering a baby that day. But for the rest of you, if you're not delivering a baby that day, start typing in the chat, I'm on the fence because, and we're going to have a meaningful conversation. If it is something that it just does not make sense right now, just like I just said, for our baby deliverer, I'm going to say, okay, no, let's hold off. The timing is not exactly where we need it to be. And we still want to have a conversation with you, because after baby comes, using AI tools, even in 2026, we can make something happen. We can be a mover and shaker. And that's why I say book a call. That way we can have a meaningful conversation. I want to remind you why you're here. Some of you, you're here on a Saturday because something feels off with your current situation. You feel stuck. You're bringing in a six-figure salary, you're working overtime, but it doesn't feel like it because Uncle Sam is getting the biggest cut. Some of you, you're not sure, right? You've done the real estate, you've dipped your toe, you've seen all these things real estate, but you're now overwhelmed with all of the info. You don't have time to waste, and you don't have money to waste. Some of you, you're intrigued at the idea of just 2 doors could simplify your strategy, right? So you're wanting that balance. Some of you just want freedom. You want to be able to pick up your kids from school on a Thursday or take that girls' trip or guys' trip without begging for PTO or begging for someone to cover your next shift. Whatever reason you are here today, I truly believe that docsinvesting.com will help get you to where you want to go. And we have sweetened the deal. We are giving early bird pricing for those who are in the room. Right about now, some of you, you just may have some doubts, right? You're thinking, you know what? I'm really new to this. I don't even know where to start. I don't know which market to invest in. Well, I want to share with you Dr. Chiagosi's story. Dr. Chiagosi, she invested in a market that even I was like, you know what? This one's a little bit sketchy, but let's see what we can do with it. And when she launched this multiple streams of income summit, she had me come and speak to all the doctors about this strategy that she learned from me. So here's what she has to say about it. And keep dropping in chat. I'm on the fence because, and yes, I see we have some private questions. I got you covered.
So even just to kind of share how powerful this strategy is, last year we got a house renovated and decided that, you know what, we'll give Dr. Rachel's strategy a shot. So I bought her course and I was like, all right, later, I need all the details. I need all the things, right? And that one property, it seemed like it was the middle of nowhere. Like my husband still wonders why I bought that house. But the first booking came in at $12,000 for the month. And then they extended for another 6 weeks or so at $10,000. Mind you, this house, I bought the house for $150,000, renovated it for another $150,000. So we're all in like $300,000. So the first month booking being $12,000, that was literally Dr. Rachel's strategy. And that is why, when I'm hosting this, I'm like, you know what? People need to hear it, right? They need to know all the tools, because when they think real estate, they're thinking, passive investing. They're thinking, long-term rentals. They're thinking fix and flip, but nobody is thinking insurance. Is thinking insurance midterm rental.
Nobody is thinking insurance midterm rental, but guess who's thinking it? Everyone in this room right now is thinking it. And so that is why I wanted to share this with you. I see a lot of questions coming through with I'm on the fence. I look forward to responding to all of those. So keep those coming, guys. We want to make sure that you get your bonuses. So for those of you who are on the fence, and those of you who are like, you know what, there are some issues going on with dates, I'm going to encourage you to book your call with our team. You're going to love Carol. She is going to ensure that you have secured your spot by booking a call. If you cannot make it for some reason, I'm going to tell you this right now, all is not lost. Book your call with Carol today, and I'm going to explain to you why that's important. I want to get to, I'm looking for the right slide for that right now. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for those of you who are like, there you go, I can't make it. Okay, so here's what I want to implore upon you. If you're thinking, okay, I can't make it, just like a little bit earlier where we talked about someone who's having a baby, right? Here's what I want you to think about before I let you off the hook real quick. Here's the math. And here's my question for you. You guys are busy, burnt out professionals, or you have family members who are busy, burnt out professionals. How many shifts, how many calls, how many surgeries or client hours do you have to grind it out to pay yet another tax bill? What if you carved out just 2 days to work with me? You carved out 2 days upfront and you bought back hundreds of hours. You bought back $10,000s of dollars year after year after year. And you guys are so caring. I know this already. You're not going to skip vital training for patient care. You're not. You're going to do your CMEs and make sure that you attend the vital training to make sure that you're saving lives and not harming. Do no harm, right? So why skip the only training that's designed to give you back your life? Why skip the only training designed to give you back your life, to give you back your time, to give you back cha-ching your money? Why skip the only training that is designed to look after you, right? So this is not to guilt trip. I'm just trying to challenge some assumptions here. Now, again, if you're making a baby that day, that is unavoidable. That is something that you just physically can't make it. Or you may have another physical extenuating circumstance that's physically on your calendar that you cannot make it. That I totally get. Life happens. You're in a service industry, you're serving others, and sometimes the schedule is the schedule. You cannot change anything. So if that is you, book your call today. If you book your call today with Carol, all of these bonuses, we're going to reserve your spot for all of these bonuses. Okay. So this is the way to lock in access to this founding member pricing at $9.97, the early bird pricing. Let's move fast and get you in there. And once you book your call, you'll have access to Carol inside of our community. She is absolutely amazing. Okay. So book your call today. It doesn't cost anything to book the call. It doesn't cost anything to book the call. So at the bottom line is, do not let your schedule cost you tens of thousands in lost opportunity or a place inside of this event. Book your call now. Spaces and pricing will be gone. So I don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to second guess yourself. So the link is in the chat. Book the call right now and let's make sure that we get you locked in. Okay. All right. So let's see here. All right. So yes. Amazing. For those of you who are asking, what if I'm not a doctor? Okay, so I want to emphasize that. The reason I talk to doctors primarily is because this is the background I come from. I come from a healthcare background, but inside of our community, we have attorneys, we have engineers, just a variety of different industries inside of our community, okay? So as long as you are impacted by the tax situation that I mentioned a little bit earlier, you're paying a lot in taxes, you feel like your paycheck is getting cut in half, you're making more than $100,000 or $150,000 a year household income, this is for you. Now, say you're not meeting that threshold, you're making $30,000 a year, $40,000 for you, do not enroll. This is not for you because you have other tax strategies that are really, really powerful for your current income threshold. This right here will not be the most beneficial to you. And I'm just saying this to protect you, to make sure that you don't show up to something expecting something else. Okay. That would be disingenuous. Okay. All right. So again, these are some wins from inside of our community. Sean just closed on that beautiful house. This is Patty. She got a 21-day booking, 3-week insurance booking for $11,393.63. Again, this is from choosing the right market, being in the top 1% of our markets. This is Dr. Aaron Oladada's property in the Washington State area. $209,000 is what she was able to generate. $125,000 is what Quay and her husband were able to generate. Okay, so I want you to hear me on this. This is the roadmap that I have mapped out and planned for you. Okay, September is the strongest starting point of the year, not January, not February, not April, September. And here's why. So you attend the blueprint September 18th and 19th. And October is when we land your property. And the moment you go under contract, your material participation clock changes. That means every FaceTime you have with our realtors, every call you jump off from our lenders, the paperwork that you're submitting, every hour counts. And if your spouse or partner is helping too, their time counts as well. And so by November, you have closed on the property, you furnished it, and your first guests are starting to check in. And when we look at the calendar, you're launching straight in the holiday booking season. You have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you have families traveling in Q4, and they're paying premium rates. What a head start. Now, here's the part that changes everything. You get that property in service before December the 31st, and you schedule your cost segregation study. You end up capturing the full 100% bonus depreciation against your entire 2026 W-2 income. Not a slice of it. The IRS ain't about prorating nothing. You get the full year's benefit by launching by December the 31st. So a property placed into service, say you place it into service November the 30th or something like that, you reach back and shelter the whole year. And come January, that property, we can convert it into a midterm rental. So January 2027, we pivot to midterm rental. Okay. And that is like we're in the dead center of winter, right? And winter does what winter does. Pipes are bursting, insurance claims, placements, they surge, and your property steps into the highest demand season for insurance housing within 6 months of bookings, right? With 6 months of bookings, rather, on the table. And in spring, in April, you get that refund check from the IRS. Okay, and I know 123,000 for the IRS. Not all checks are created equal, but it feels like spending money, and that's when I'm gonna be in your ear. No, no, no. This is not spending money. This is not spending money. This is how door one funds door two. So now you have a full year of taxes recaptured, winter insurance demands hit, a spring refund check that buys your next property, funds the next property. That is a whole different, completely different life that I want for you. That is a different life that I want for you. And all of it starts on September the 18th. All of it starts on September the 18th. Okay. Let me see. Active part, please. Amazing. Okay, so I want to share with you, I do get a question around, Rachel, how do I fund this? How exactly do I come up with this money? So I want to map this out for you so that you understand how the funding works just by showing you 3 different scenarios, okay? Your financial situation is going to be different from everyone else's financial situation in the room. I'm going to start off with my story. The way I funded the Linux Star, it was a $290,000 purchase. I found a local bank that was willing to give me a 5% down loan for about $14,500. I had $8,000 in repairs, so my total investment all in was $22,500. Okay, $22,500 to control a $400,000 asset because the property is worth $400,000. I didn't need $250,000. I didn't need $1 million. No. I needed $22,500. And the way I did that is I cobbled together extra shifts. I worked some overtime, just on the front end so that I can have the freedom now. I even used some of my 401k. I was able to borrow a little bit from 401k. I got a bonus check because one of the consultancy jobs that I had, we were getting bonus checks. My husband, he was moonlighting at the local psychiatric hospital. We put all of those points together, and then we were able to fund that first property. That property was generating us $44 extra $100 a month coming into our pockets. And instead of using that money, we put that together for the next property. Okay. So we were able to purchase the next property with the cash flow from this property. The next story is Chris. So Chris, she launched Sheila by the Sea. This beautiful home was named after her mother who had passed. And so what she did was we did a return on equity audit with her. So she was different from me in that she had real estate before she met me. She had a long-term rental, but she was making around $75 a month net cash flow from her long-term rental. However, the long-term rental had a lot of equity in it to the tune of about $75,000, $80,000 of equity that she could borrow against from it, right? And so she looked at the equity in that property and decided, you know what, let me just sell this property instead. It is not performing well. Here's what she said, I am deeply over this property. And so I hated to see her sell it because I prefer us to keep as much as we can. But she said she wanted to make the decision to sell it, which was completely fine. So we took the money from that property to put it together into a 1031 exchange for a down payment. And unfortunately, though, 3 days after closing on her property, just 72 hours before closing, not after, before closing, her husband loses his whole job at LinkedIn. LinkedIn, that's like your big boy job. And so the whole funding falls apart because she had strategically made it based off of his income. And so I told her to call lender number 3 on the funding super PAC. And so when she called lender number 3, and I told her to say one word, DSCR loan, the lender qualified her and her husband, not based off of their paychecks. Instead, they decided to qualify them off of the income on the property. So the property qualified instead of her paycheck. She ended up closing on time and she ended up closing on her birthday. birthday, which is amazing. And lastly, I had mentioned Dr. Sheila and Sean inside of our community. Okay, so their $61,000 came from working extra shifts. They explored equity as well as borrowing HELOC and HELOANs, borrowing from their own home to get there. So I want you to hear why they were comfortable doing it, because she's a physiatrist and he's an engineer. They do not gamble their money, especially with their 3 little ones. So they have an extra baby that just arrived as well. Oh my gosh. So they took a calculated risk, right? Their hypothesis was really simple. What we did, we have something called our hidden money matrix. We found that they could potentially get a refund check just months after they launch for $91,000. So Sean says, bet if I put in $61,000 now, you're telling me I can get a refund for $91,000? I said, yes, this is what it is looking like for you. But I was wrong. I wasn't right. They ended up getting a refund check for $123,000. $123,000. And the property is holding $200,000 in equity that they could borrow against. So the hypothesis was more than confirmed, right? So if you read his text right now, the money didn't leave their family, it boomeranged back. And so now door 1 is funding door 2. So these are 3 different scenarios, 3 completely different starting points, but we use the same system. And this is exactly what we run for you at the Blueprint. It's called the Hidden Money Matrix. We sit down together and we find every single dollar that you can access within the next 30 to 60 days. The work bonus, the 401k leverage, the equity that is sleeping right now in your current property, money that you maybe forgot you have. Then we match it against our 16 vetted lenders, the same Rolodex that saved Chris's deal. Then we backdate it, right? We map your tax benefit on a calendar so we know the date your money is going to land back in your pocket. And oftentimes it is right around the corner. You walk out of Dallas knowing 3 numbers. You know what you have, what you can borrow, and what's coming back to you. That is the funding plan. So the down payment, a lot of you may be thinking, right, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come up with the down payment. The down payment was never the barrier. Not knowing where your money is, that was the barrier. And every April that you wait, the IRS knows exactly where your money is going, and it keeps that check that should be coming to your household. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And of course, the ticket price for the event is a tax write-off for many of our members. All of that, guys, is what is inside of doxinvesting.com. Know that when you arrive, we've got you covered. Carol will be there as well. I'm flying in my team from New York, from Canada, from all over the US. Because I want you to be in a room where you are winning. This is a safe space. I'm just in awe at the friendships, the lifelong friendships that are formed in this safe space. So without further ado, guys, I am so looking forward to jumping in. I see the Q&A is lit all the way up. Amazing. I see some folks have booked their call. Yes. Okay. So here's the deal. When you book your call, there may not be an availability today on the calendar. That is completely fine. That doesn't matter. Just find a spot. The way it works, if you book your call while we are on this call, irregardless if it's on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as long as it gets tagged for being booked while we're on this call, you are eligible. You're eligible for all of the bonuses that we have shared, okay? So I just want to make sure that you're aware. I am diving in. I see. Okay, great. Okay, I'm on the fence because my husband is not on board. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm on the fence because my husband is not on board. I got you covered. Okay, so let me tell you about my reluctant spouse. You guys think I just woke up and my husband's like, oh yeah, I'm on board. We're good. We're good. Let's go ahead and yeah, we have $500,000 in student loan debt. Let's go ahead and risk it all, right? Let's go ahead and risk it all. Not even close, bestie. Not even close. My husband was the most reluctant of all reluctant spouses. On property 1, he was not having it. Not even close. He was not having it. And the same thing, if you saw on the video that I shared with you a little bit earlier, Trang, Let me see if I can find the video to show you Trang as I go. So Trang, her husband was not on board either. As a matter of fact, she came to the event without his complete buy-in. He was like, "You're an independent woman, do what you do." Here she is, boom. "You're an independent woman, do what you do, but I am not on board." She is a financial director. Her husband's the physician. And he was like, "This scammy nonsense, this is just going to be another scam. No, we don't have time. We have two little kids. What do you mean you're actually going to invest in real estate while we have all of this that's going on? I have student loan debt, all of that." And she was like, "Listen, if we don't do something with our finances, we are going to be working our fingers to the bone and never having time with our kids." And this is just not the reality that I had dreamt of. I didn't go to all of this education, build this life to not have any time to enjoy it. And so she kicking and screaming, she says, "I'm going. I have to do something. I'm going." And here's what she said to me. And I thought this was so good and so fascinating. She said she would do all her stuff, get from work, spend time with the kids, put the kids in bed, and late at night, she said she would go in and just kind of review the step-by-steps in her blueprint and her customized roadmap. She would be looking at the markets and, filling out what she needs to fill out. And she said she would see her husband walking by her as she's doing it. He's like, "Okay, I guess she's doing this now." But when the cash flow started rolling in, y'all, when I tell you the buy-in changed when the cash flow started rolling in, he is the one that forced them into door number 2 faster than she was ready to jump into door number 2. She was like, "Okay, I've got this set up. I want to perfect it." He was like, "No, we need to do this for our second door. We need door number 2 right now." I kid you not. And I'm gonna find that recording where Trang was breaking that down to me. I was giggling because this is the story that I see time and time again. This is what happened to me personally. I used to go to the bank after I would get a payout from Airbnb. I would go to the bank, and I'm looking for a paper because I want to demonstrate this, right? I would go to the bank and I would withdraw all the payout money and place it in an envelope. Okay. I would place it in an envelope and I would hand it to my husband, get home, hand it to my husband. I would be like, "Babe, could you please just drop this off at the bank for me? It's another $4,000, drop this off." He's like, "$4,000? Okay, sure." He would go and deposit. I say, "Oh, I've got a long shift tonight. I won't have time to deposit it at the bank." So went ahead and deposited. The next day that we get another payment, "Oh, babe, I'm sorry. Could you do me a huge favor? I know you're busy. Oh my gosh, I know you've got a shift. I've got a shift. Could you please go ahead and deposit it at the bank for me?" And I would see him leafing through. What in the world? What's in here? This is money. This is cash. This is cold hard cash. Where's she getting this money from? I said, "Oh yeah, that little Linux property up the road. Yeah. Airbnb just sent another payout. Yeah." He was like, "Okay." And I'm looking at him, and when I tell you he got a little pep in his step, he had a little pep in his step. The third time, babe, he was like, "Okay, hold on. Are you selling drugs?" Well, technically, right? As a pharmacist, yeah, technically I am. But this is not what's coming from the pharmacy. This is not what's coming from me punching a clock. This is money that is coming in without me punching the clock. And so I could see the wheels turning for him. I could see the aha moment. Oh, this is other money. This is other money that's coming in. You're not picking up extra shifts. I'm not picking up extra shifts. This is other money that's coming in. Yeah, exactly. And so guess who was on board for property number 2? Guess who unfortunately was laid up in bed because he needed surgery, and he was able to manage all of the guest communication right on this phone and still contribute to the family and the household, even when his body wouldn't let him. He had gotten really sick, guys. And so he was in bed, and he was just so grateful to be able to contribute to the household. And because he wasn't able to sustain 3 jobs, like we both had 3, 4, 5 jobs between the both of us. He had he ended up getting an ACDF, if you guys know, that's like a spinal surgery. When I tell you there was a pallor on his face, he was going through excruciating pain. and he had a really invasive surgical procedure. But during the time of us getting all of that going, we had these rentals that were bringing revenue into our household, and it was no longer dependent on him punching a clock. And for him, like, the floodgates came open. He goes, let's do this again. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. And fast forward to today, he is head of operations for our rental properties. He manages the portfolio. He actually retired before me because your girl here had money trauma problems growing up. I was not willing to leave the W-2. I felt like I needed to work the 3 jobs. I felt like I needed to also have this. And I kept saying, okay, once I get to this number, I'll cut back. Once I get to that number, I'll cut back. And he's looking at me like, why are you stressed out? Why are you working so much? And he had retired off of the rentals before I had retired off of the rentals. And it was my idea. So if you are married to a reluctant spouse, I want you to know that I see you. I got you. Trang is married to a reluctant spouse and he's all in. I'm married to a reluctant spouse and he's all in. I got you. I got you. I got you. Okay, so the next question, I'm on the fence because I don't quite have a full down payment yet. Okay, so here's the deal. And I see you, and I'm on the fence. I'm not going to mention anyone's names because a lot of this is like personal and private. So I got you covered. No worries there. Okay, so Rachel, I'm on the fence. I don't have a full down payment. I got you. Okay, so here's the good news. You don't need as much as you think that you need. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over so that you can see all the things, and we're gonna put on a timer because I'm not gonna keep you here all of Saturday. I know you guys have things to do. I've got the kids that are starting back school, so we're gonna be wrapping up and make sure they have all the things that they need. So I want to make sure you can get to it, but you don't need as big of a down payment as you think you do. Our members are able to get into properties sometimes with 0 down payments, depending on what your financial profile is, sometimes with 5% down, sometimes with 10% down. Sophia actually closed on a property with 0% down. And I kid you not, she's an attorney. That deal had to be ironclad. And after she had vetted that deal, we went ahead and we added that vendor to our vetted lenders list. Again, not everyone's going to qualify, but book that call with Carol. Let her know that you're concerned about your real numbers. There are ways that we can strategically do kind of a precursor, a little pre-approval assessment situation. I don't want you to count yourself out yet. Do not count yourself out yet. Okay. All right. The next question, I'm on the fence because those dates might clash with something on my schedule. Okay. So before I shut the room down, if those dates might clash, before I shut the room down, go ahead and book your call. Get the call booked. I want to make sure that if there's a way we can navigate that with you, we can lock in your founding pricing for maybe a future event. Okay. So if that date might clash, book your call with Carol, book your call. I want to make sure that we get you in. Okay. If 2 days can hand you back another year of taxes, if 2 days can hand you back a check from the IRS, I don't know what else that I could possibly do to help support you. I'm counting down every head that comes into the room. I'm counting 20 in this room. I'm counting 20. I need 50 people to get a paycheck from IRS, 50 people in my world and my life to get a check from IRS. I kid you not, you have no idea how many rooms that I walk into with real estate and I say, how many people have made or saved money because of me? When the hands go up, I say, you know what? I can die happy. I could literally die happy right now because I know that the work that I'm doing is legacy work. And if 2 days, if I can hold your hand for 2 days and unlock something this powerful, guys, this is the domino that then tips the next domino, then that tip, and then the game is changed. Okay. So join me for the 2 days, book the call. Let's figure out what we can do to get you in some kind of room, even at a future event, something. Book the call, okay? Next one is I'm on the fence because I may pick the wrong property and lose money. Yeah, you might. You may pick the wrong property and lose money if you're doing it by yourself. Okay, there's no flying solo here. This is a valid fear. There are people right now who are losing a lot of money a lot of money with real estate, with Bitcoin, with car washes, with ATM investing, with commercial real estate. There's a lot of people losing a lot of money. And sad story, I just saw a story with Beardy Brandon Turner, who I considered someone that I looked up to. I didn't, I was inspired by the way he inspired others, right? But I never subscribed to his exact strategy. It just was out of alignment with where I am as a busy mom with a whole husband, 2 boys, and 3 dogs. It just was not in alignment. The way he was teaching was perfect for my little brother who was 18 years old and who's going to be knocking on doors. How the heck would I be knocking on doors? I got 3 o'clock. I've got to be at the ICU doing TPNs. There is no way. There was no way. So it was completely out of alignment. So you got to be very, very mindful of who it is that you're following. Well, he just announced, unfortunately, that he lost $15 million of investor money. And he says there is more coming. Okay. So there's no flying solo here. MM is a university provost. He sat on a master class just like this one, right? And when he sat on the master class, unfortunately, he went and he said, I'll tell you his story, it's a cautionary tale. We have helped him to transition from that property. But then he sat on the master class and he said, you know what? I like Orlando. My kids like Orlando. Let me go ahead and grab this property from Orlando. Bad idea. You can't just go into Orlando at large and say, I'm just going to grab this property from Orlando. There are very specific zip codes and very specific communities and streets and that make money. And then there are specific ones that lose a lot of money. He picked a loser of a market. Okay. So once you get to Blueprint, we discover for you the 7 decisions that matter. We create your customized profit map that only you get, no one else gets the same one. And then so you're not guessing. We're going to 100% map all of this out for you. You walk out with your materials in hand. If day one is not worthwhile for you, you get the day one hand back. Day one, you could leave with the materials, don't even hand them back. You leave with the materials and you get 100% back on your ticket price. I cannot make it easier than this. Just so you know, I could it doesn't even get better than this. It does not get better than this. Okay, a question. I'm on the fence because I bought courses before. I've bought courses before and have never finished them. Oh, totally get it. I have never felt so seen in my life with an on the fence statement. I am ashamed to say, guys, that there are so many courses that I have a graveyard filled with courses that I have purchased and they're sitting there somewhere and I don't even know how to log in. I'm like, what even was this? What even was this thing that I bought? Okay, so you're in the right place because Dr. Helen, she is a physician inside of our community. I met her at the Women in Medicine Summit. When I met her, she goes, Rachel, I have 3 unfinished courses. 3 unfinished courses. She says, I have 43 open tabs on my computer and I saw them right there. And she's like going from spreadsheet to spreadsheet, evaluating this way, evaluating that way, evaluating the other way, right? So here's the most important part about Blueprint. Blueprint is not a course. It's not. It just isn't a course. Yes, we have expert interviews inside of the Funding Super PAC that you get access to immediately. And they are sharing with you exactly the types of loans, what to use, when and where. But it is not a course at all. Okay. When you arrive in Blueprint, it is 2 days. 2 days where decisions get made. It's a decision maker. Decisions get made in the room. And I'm right there with you, elbow to elbow. You leave with it done. You don't leave with the to-do list. You leave with it done. When Dr. Helen walked in 8 weeks later, she had closed on her first property. So Blueprint is not a course, not even close. Not even close. Okay, so let's see. We got a few more questions. Okay. All right, let's see here. Got a couple more on the fence. Amazing. Okay, so all of these got answered. Positions. Oh, Alexa says I'm in between. Okay, nope. I said I wasn't gonna say any names. Okay, so we have primarily doing until my next, so would be starting into new position. Okay, great. All right, so let's mark you down. I would still recommend if you're still going through your educational cycle, book the call. Book the call. You just never know. I highly recommend that you book a call if you're still here with us. We have those who are smarter than us when we were going through school, because when I was going through university and my doctorate, I did not take the time to think about the future, right? All I thought was I was going to climb the corporate ladder all the way to the tippy top. And I did get there. I became the top 3 person to do informatics implementation across 450 hospitals. I was very much a sought after person. That's why I was able to make those extra bonus checks that were outside of my normal. I was traveling like crazy. I was invited to go to DC in order to run a major medical association. And I reached the pinnacle. I was at the tippy top. And as I was getting to the top, I looked around and realized that this ladder that I'm climbing was propped up against the wrong building. I had climbed to the top and hated everything about my life. So for those of you who are in your educational cycle right now, this is not to discourage you. This already tells me you are a smarter woman or man than I was already to be thinking about a protection strategy, an extra strategy on the side. So kudos to you. Congratulations to you. I will say if you're not in attendance yet, this might not be exactly for you, but nevertheless, I want us to stay close. I want us to stay in contact because I want to make sure that what happened to me, it doesn't take you 10 years to get to where you want to be like it did for me. Okay, it took me years and years and years. All right, let's see. I am looking to see. Oh, let's see if I received the active. Okay, Gina, you want active participant, and I'll show you exactly what that is, Gina. Thank you so much for being an active participant inside of our chat today. So here's what you get, my friend. You get our Wealth RX ebook, Creating Massive Tax Savings with Short-Term Rentals. This is the ebook that I co-authored with Amanda Hahn. She is one of the leading tax strategists inside of the real estate industry. This is the guide that has the insider tips and some of the proven techniques that help you to leverage the bonus depreciation, accelerated depreciation, and a whole lot more. These are the techniques that Dr. Sita Patel says that helped her to shelter $200,000 of her income. So Gina, massive, massive congratulations to you. We'll drop it in the chat and I believe it's going to go in your email as well. Okay. So it looks like I have the feeling like I've covered it all, guys. I'm looking for extra questions. I think that's it. It's time to land this plane. It's time to land this plane. Oh my goodness, I'm super excited. Okay, guys. So here's what I want you to know. I want you to know that this is the only 2-day workshop of its kind. And I developed this specifically for busy, burnt out professionals, those who would love to invest in real estate. However, you're not quite sure how, and you're not quite sure what all the benefits are. Okay. It's focused on repositioning your whole strategy to focus on primarily, premium clients, premium guests, the insurance industry eventually, so that you can create nearly passive income stream without burning yourself out. And furthermore, I love the strategy because it gives you the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of families that are in need as well. So it doesn't get better than that. I really believe this is an opportunity I don't want you to miss out on. So I do thank you for joining us today. And you know what? I have something that I created yesterday, right before before this session, and I want to drop it in the chat for you. But before I drop it in the chat for you, I actually want to go through it right before I land this plane, okay? Because obviously you guys are in the room for a reason. You're in the room for a reason, and I want to make sure that you walk away knowing exactly what my intentions were for this blueprint. And my intentions were for you joining me today, okay? So the beginner's blueprint, I know I had a lot of colorful slides. So we'll call this our less, what do you call it? Our less overstimulated version of the webinar today, okay? So this is your opportunity to map out your very first profitable short and midterm rental in 2 days on September 18th and 19th. The investment is $14.97. However, early bird has already ended, but we're giving you an exception with this letter. This is a letter I am, I developed for you. Okay, so you book your call with Carol while on this masterclass, and I wrote this a few hours before I went live to teach this to you. And I keep thinking, the reason I wrote this is because I kept thinking about the version of me years ago. I was holding my pee for 13 to 14 hour shifts. And I'm just going to be honest, I know it sounds crass. I couldn't even use your restroom. Okay. We started with $500,000 in student loan debt. The debt had a chokehold on us. We felt that, oh my gosh, we got all these big degrees. We felt like we were actually doing the right things, but we still felt broke. So that woman, that is who we developed this blueprint for. Nobody handed her a plan. She had to actually build one. And that plan became 18 luxury rental properties, paid off student loan, a portfolio that ended up on Netflix. And here's what I want. Here's what I want. I want a room filled with women in Dallas and a few good men. We always have a few good men that join us. These are people who are done waiting from the sidelines. I want them sitting with me for 2 days and leaving with their first property mapped out on paper. That is what I intended with this letter. So I want you to know you're not behind. You're going to hear a lot of people saying, oh, I did this and that, and I did that, and you're going to feel behind. You're just unprotected, okay? Behind means that you missed something. You didn't miss anything. Behind means that everyone else got the memo and you were on shift when they got it. Behind is the story that makes you feel teeny tiny small at 2 a.m. while you Google how doctors pay less in taxes for the 9th time. This is not what is happening. What is happening is this: every April you watch 5 figures and 6 figures disappear from the IRS. Every paycheck is nearly cut in half. It's gone. You got the degree, the license, you worked the hours, but the tax code wasn't written for you. It wasn't written for people who earn. It was written for people who own. Okay? So the whole problem was the strategy. And here we are fighting for printer paper write-offs. We're fighting for the ink on our printer. We're fighting for crumbs, and we walk right past the loaf. So here's the shift. The shift is you do not need 10 doors. You don't need to become a real estate guru or real estate person. You just need a property with a proven framework, funded the right way, structured so that it offsets 6 figures of taxable income, and you can run it in about 2 hours to 4 hours a week. That is the whole model. One property, we're going to pick it correctly. That changes your math for the whole year. You're super smart, so that was never the problem. Your work ethic wasn't the problem either. You're saving lives. You're running codes. You run clinics. You run teams. The problem is no one ever put the full sequence for you in front of you in the right order. This is exactly what we do in Dallas. We're going to build together in 2 days. It's not a conference. It's not a workshop. It's not a lookathon. We're building together. No one's selling you from a stage for 8 hours. You and I are building your plan over 2 days, side by side. You'll walk away with my PACU framework. This is the same one my Academy members use. You'll make your key decisions, which is pillar number 1. We'll map your funding pack with exact tools and lenders my members use. We'll map your tax savings path with templates so you can speak to your CPA and make sure you're speaking the same language. And sometimes it's rest in peace as CPA. We got to get another one. You'll meet our real estate strategist from my Rolodex. and you'll get personalized feedback on your plan, not generic advice. You walk away with a full customized map, your market, your funding path, your tax path for the next 90 days. So here's who this is for. There are two types of people reading this right now. The avid researcher, you have 43 tabs that are open right now, spreadsheets on spreadsheets, podcasts you're listening to, you know more than most people, and yet you still haven't bought a property, because knowing and deciding are two different things. Or you are the beginner. You just found out about this and you're kind of curious. You're cautious. You want a safe, high touch way to start without betting your whole savings on a guess. Either way, you're not looking for another free training. There's a lot of free trainings online. That's not what you need right now. What you need is a plan with your literal name on it. That's who this is for. Our researcher and our beginner. Who this is not for. If you want another course, if you want a whole bunch of theory to collect, this is not your room. If real estate is a someday hobby and not a decision you intend to make in 2026, this is not your room. Let's keep the seat for someone who is ready. It's not a judgment. No. This is just not your season, and that's completely okay. All right, so we spoke already about Doctors Ryan and Hesina, who bought a $410,000 property in Michigan that produces $114,500 in annual revenue against the $72,000 that the market has projected. We have Dr. Gladys, who went under contract with a cost segregation, bonus depreciation, and partial asset distribution already layered into the plan. They're the ones that got the $123,000 check from the IRS. We got Dr. Christie, who got pre-approved for $530,000 purchase, and her tax strategy mapped out before she even made the offer. So these are the real strategies from real people. And of course, I must tell you, with our attorneys have me say, these results are not typical. It's not for everyone. Now, Dr. Rachel Gainsborough here, signing in, your favorite pharmacist. I was able to build an 18 property luxury rental portfolio while working full-time. We paid off $500,000 in student loan debt. Our properties were featured on Netflix, Buy My House, episode 4. I co-authored Real Estate Textbook with Amanda Hahn, and I have taught this system on stages across the country. I built this for the woman that I used to be because she deserved a shortcut. And so do you. So the day one handback, here's my promise. Show up for day one. If by the end of the first day, you don't believe this room gets you your first property, you can quietly take your materials. You don't even have to hand them back. Take the materials that we've given you, and I will give you 100% refund on your ticket price. So you're not risking anything. You're risking a day, not your whole savings on this. So the investment again is $14.97. Book a call for early bird. It is $9.97, and the room is capped at 20 women and a few good men. The seats are going to be spoken for. So it's September the 18th and 19th. Materials, including our agents and our lender introductions, are included as well. So if you're someone, we spoke about the reluctant spouse a little bit earlier. If you're someone that says, my husband thinks these programs are a scam, good. I'm happy, because I believe that skeptical spouses protect families. Okay, so feel free to show him the day one handbag and let him know you get to keep the materials. This is a test that he could use to prove to himself whether or not it's a good fit. So if you and him, you show up on day one and it is not wildly valuable, we give you 100% of your refund, plus we let you grab the materials, okay? And if you want him on a call, book a call with Carol. Have him on the call. Let him ask all the questions, all the hard questions, to get those out of the way as well. What if I can't make the September date? Book a call anyway. We'll map your options that may be available to you and honor the early bird pricing. What if I'm not a real estate person? Good, neither was I. I was a pharmacist with 0 properties and $500,000 in student loan debt. So that's who I was. The blueprint is designed for those who are not real estate people. Do I need to own a property already? No, this is the step before you own a property. So your next step, you don't need another free masterclass. You need your first property. You need your first door. So claim your seat here. I've got a link here for you. I'm going to drop this in the chat. or click this link right here to book the call with Carol. Just get on there for 20 minutes, right? It's not going to cost you anything to get on a call with Carol, but it may cost you a whole lot if you don't. So just so you know, I went ahead and let's see, I'm going to post it to everyone. All right, guys, that is, hang on, boom, that's it. I so appreciate you all being here with me. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to land this plane. Those are your options there, guys. So if you booked your call, know that Carol's going to give it to you straight, right? The call costs you nothing. Another year of funding the IRS and the government is going to cost you plenty. So remember, you carry zero risk by being in the room, okay? 12 months from now, one of two things are going to be true about you. You're either going to have a furnished portfolio of 2 doors paying you while you're not on the clock, or you're going to have one more year of grinding and one more April of paying the IRS. The same 365 days are going to come and go either way. The only difference is the decision that you made this afternoon. I'm Dr. Rachel Gainsborough, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your afternoon. DocsInvesting.com. I will see you in Dallas, guys. Bye. Bye, everyone.